Hello and welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Energy podcast. A couple days late this week, but we're here and looking forward to talking about plenty of Pokemon TCG news and results from tournaments in this week's episode. Of course, we're going to kick things off by talking about the biggest news in the Pokemon community this week. The fact that rotation has been announced officially. It's kind of what we thought it was going to be, but it's officially announced. We'll talk about some of the cards that are leaving, things that we are going to miss a little bit, things we're excited about that might be better, with old cards rotating out. We're going to also talk about some new cards that are coming out, which are certainly going to have an impact on the first tournaments after rotation. EUIC will be that first big tournament. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We don't know everything, obviously, but some crazy cards coming out for sure. We will, of course, have everyone's favorite segment of the podcast, Guess That Flavor Text. And we're going to wrap things up by talking about what went down at the Portland Regional Championships this past weekend. My name is Chip Ritchie, joined here once again, as always, by my friend and co-host, coming off yet another top 8 finish, Azul GG. What's up, Azul? How we doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good, Chip. Yeah, I got another top 8 at Portland, which is pretty cool. Ended up going down in top 8 to John, who won the whole thing with the Tina. But yeah, had a good another good event showing, which was cool. Played Charizard again, and then took a couple days off after Portland, and did a little short vacation. But yeah, getting back into it now. Recording the episode of the podcast today, which is coming out tomorrow, and then yeah, back to streaming all that stuff tomorrow. So I'm excited to get back to streaming and stuff. I was really enjoying like the just kind of content in general pre pre Portland, and then took a little bit longer break than I usually do with the post event stuff. But yeah, excited to get back to all the content stuff. What about you, Chip? What were you up to? Or how I guess how was the? Cause I didn't see you much. I ran into you once at Portland. That's
Yeah.
right, because you were as like yeah. When you I feel like you weren't out. Are you usually more on the floor when you're doing actual casting as opposed to backstage work?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, for those who don't know, in Portland this week, instead of casting, I was working behind the scenes. I was the subject matter expert on the production line. So pretty much just aiding the production crew with things related to the tournament and also helping with the pulling of matches and the like community choice votes and some of the information that went up on stream with the graphics and stuff like that. I did not make any of the graphics. So anyone who was, I saw a few comments about that, because there was some kind of funny bits um that went up on the broadcast, like little lower third notes about like the one that we put out of you that was like just some guy that hosts a podcast.
Yeah.
That was not solely me. Some of the things that I said did end up making it onto the actual stream itself, but I was not the person, typing these things out and putting them out there. There's a graphics guy that does that. It's actually Adam Doricott does that backstage now. But yeah, it was good. I enjoy doing that a bit. But like you said, you did not see me out on the floor because I was working the entire time, pretty much from the time that I got there in the morning for my call time. I was sitting at my chair, except for like quick bathroom break, and then like to get a working lunch all the way until the end of round 9 and then the end of the finals on day 2. So it's a lot more work, I think, doing the SME compared to casting. I guess it's just different more than anything. But with casting, you do have some kind of like dedicated breaks worked in where you're off for rounds. And then on those off rounds, that's usually when you see me like walking around and watching games and stuff like that. But um, yeah, when I'm doing the SME subject matter expert stuff, I am backstage literally the whole time, no breaks at all.
Yeah, yeah. So how'd that go? 'Cause this is like the second time you've done it before?
Yeah, I did it in Pittsburgh, and I did it this time too, and it's fun, I like it, it's just different, I definitely still prefer casting to it. Um, to be honest, I might prefer playing to doing the SME, like, I think maybe if I got asked to do it again, I might just be like, maybe I'll just play in the tournament because I do still like competing, but then also at the same time, like, I feel like I'm coming up short when I'm competing because I am only, like, trying super hard for, like, a week or 2 before the tournament to practice, and then I feel like I don't perform as well as I know I could. So I don't know. Maybe I should. I don't know. We'll see. But hopefully, I just end up casting the rest of the events this year. We'll see what happens. But Yeah, it was cool because then after that, after Portland, my wife actually came with me to Portland, and then we took a little bit of a vacation for the first few days of this week. So that's, you were on vacation in San Diego. We were on vacation in the Pacific Northwest. We took a day, drove through like the Oregon coast, which was really cool. It was terrible weather, but it kind of made it more fun almost. I don't know, because it was like we went out on the beach at Cannon Beach uh in Oregon, kind of south of Astoria, and it was like swirling wind and rain, and the sand was like pelting the side. Like I was wearing jeans, and we came off the beach, and my like from my knee down to my ankle was just caked in sand that had been blowing on the beach. But it was kind of like almost fun because of how ridiculously bad the weather was. You know what I mean? like,
Yeah.
um, and then, yeah, went up to Seattle for a couple days as well. So we went to Seattle and did some fun things there. It's really not a great time of year to go to Seattle, we found out as well in January.
Yeah.
It's
Rainy
cold and wet
season.
and gross and windy, but got to go see the Pokemon Company International office as well, which was cool. Got to take a little tour of that area, which was fun. And yeah, then we came back home. And it was also our first vacation, just me and Brooke, without the baby, without Samuel. So that was kind of hard, but also at the same time good. You got to do it at some point. So it's kind of like ripping the band-aid off, right?
Yeah.
And he did great with grandparents and stuff throughout the weekend. So we know that if we do that again, that he'll be just fine, which is definitely nice. But yeah, it was good overall. Had a fun tournament in Portland, but more so like the vacation and trip after and stuff like that.
I was about to ask, was, like, Pepper taken care of?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh
yeah. Pepper as well, the dog. Yes, grandparents are great babysitters and dog sitters, thankfully. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, Portland was cool. It seems like it'll probably be like, I wonder if they'll ever it kinda makes sense for them to put it in Seattle eventually,
I think it would
right?
be cool if they did a Seattle regionals. Yeah,
Right, because
I
they
don't.
they have the headquarters right there. I guess it's still pretty close, but
Seattle is probably
maybe
a little
it's
bit more expensive than
that's probably
Portland.
why. It's like it's close
It's
enough
actually
that it
probably a
makes
lot more
sense.
expensive than Portland.
Yeah, maybe it's just like it's close enough that it makes sense because having one there, maybe that's just something they're just trying to aim for is have one close to the headquarters. But then if it's like that much bigger of a price difference, it makes no sense to put it in
Yeah, I think
Seattle
Vancouver
over
is also like
Portland.
the same distance from Seattle to.
Yeah,
It's like in the middle
it's
between
close.
Seattle and or Seattle's in the middle between Vancouver and Portland almost.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty close up there. All right. Well, to kick things off, we just got a couple announcement things to take care of first. I think the first thing we could talk about is finally have some more Latin American regionals on the schedule.
Yeah.
For anyone, and this is actually something I didn't see. The tweet I saw from someone was like, "No one's talking about this, but there's more Latin American events." I was like, "Yeah, I haven't seen anyone talk about that." Um,
When did this go get announced? I did not see
yesterday,
anything about it until you told me about it.
yeah, yesterday I think. I don't know, just they popped up. One in March on the 9th, and then one in April on the 20th, and then one in Santiago, Chile, perhaps with no more information.
At some point.
At some point, undetermined. I'd assume it's after. But that's getting close to the end of the season then, isn't it? Because we got NAIC in June this year, right?
I think
Um,
so.
so April, maybe May then, right?
Yeah.
Maybe in May. It could be June. I guess it could be early June still as
'Cause
well.
there is LA regionals is in May, is like the end of May. So it could
Yeah,
be sometime in the middle of May for sure. Like maybe
yeah,
the Stockholm weekend. It'll probably if it is, like I wonder if it is going to be after April 21st or if it's just like a placeholder. Like maybe it'll be sometime in between these two.
yeah. I could see. Oh yeah, sure. I guess it could be in between them at some point.
But yeah, NAIC, sorry, is June 7th to 9th. And I mean, I guess we
Have to
don't
be in May. It has to be
know.
May or before May. I just want to be in June.
Yeah. 'Cause there will probably be a new set for NAIC, right?
Uh,
Like, if we're going by
would
so,
there?
like,
Might be a new set for Worlds actually. There might not be a new set for
May
NAC.
24th release, I guess that wouldn't
It's like a month after 2 months. It's 2 months because
2
we're getting
months,
this one's
which could
coming end of
happen. That's
March.
kind of what happened with, that's
I feel
literally
like
what
we
happened last year, right? New set
uh,
for, um there was a new set
NAC?
for
Yeah, I
EUIC,
guess.
which was Scarlet Violet base set, and then there was a new set for NAIC 2 months later, 2.5 months later,
Yeah. So I guess
so
we'll
it
have to
could be the
see
same
it.
thing.
But now they pushed NAIC back a month because it was July last year. That's the thing. NAIC has been pushed back a month. So it'd
That's
be like
true.
it would have to release a month and a half after. So I don't think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be we'll have a world set this year. We won't have a new set for NAIC though, with the way things are looking, right? Because it wouldn't come out it would come out a the 3rd weekend of the set would have to come out the 3rd weekend of, June,
It
which
would
is
have
like
to come out.
a month and 3 weeks after the next major set. So it's probably gonna come out the end of June, like June 20th after NAIC, but Worlds is what I guess we don't have Worlds dates yet, but Worlds is probably end of July, right? Don't we know it's in July for some reason? I feel like we know it's in July.
I
I think
don't
we are we just
think
assuming
that
are we just
it's
assuming that?
known anyway. I've heard most people assume it's in August.
Really? Even though NAIC is in June? I guess that's my assumption, I guess. I guess it was
I
because
think that's a
NAIC was in
self-assumption
June.
on your part.
Yeah. I guess it could still be like it being like at end of August would be that's like 3 months
Hopefully, they do
break.
just announce it, like, pretty soon, you
Yeah.
know? I think,
Yeah.
like, 6 months in advance of when they plan to host the tournament at a minimum.
It would be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that was kind of my assumption based on it being in July, would be that Worlds is then in June, but I guess it could still be August, but it'd probably be early August then, if it is gonna be in August. I just have to wait and see.
We will
This is
have
the
to
first
wait and
time.
see, and, something else we'll have to wait and see is gonna be the result of a pretty big matchup that's happening this weekend. This is all of a sudden kind of out of nowhere, moving on here from our topic about the Latin America regional schedule. This, bit of a grudge match, I guess you could almost call it, that's popped up on Twitter the last couple days has become kind of the biggest thing in the Pokemon TCG in a while. And it all originated around this person, LAX Station, who tweeted, "Question of the day: What beats Tina, or how do the other decks navigate the matchup?" And Jake Gearhart replied to that and said, Gardevoir with Jirachi, Cresselia, and 4 stadium bumps, 75-25s it if you play the matchup right. Obviously, you can cut one of the two of those pieces and still have a favorable matchup, just not as favorable. And then one of Tina's biggest soldiers, I feel like, as of recent, has been Isaiah Bradner. And, he's not someone who's afraid to put his money where his mouth is. Says, money match me,
Definitely.
little bro. $100, 10 games. I'll go at least 5-5. And then that turned into Jake and Isaiah setting up this money match. You chimed in as well, Azul, and said, if you guys let me stream this, I'll put up the money. Winner gets $100. And then now it's official. A grudge match of sorts. Jake Gearhart playing Gardevoir versus Isaiah Bradner with the Lost Tina. You're streaming it on your channel this Sunday. And this is blown up. I mean, the people I saw JW tweeted this is like maybe going to be the most watched piece of Pokemon TCG content ever. I don't know about that, but
Possible.
there's going to be a lot of people tuning in to see the results of this one. What do you have to say about it, Azul? Someone who's putting it on.
I mean, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty fun. Yeah, I saw them going back and forth. I didn't know how seriously they were taking it or if it was actually ever gonna happen, but I was like, if I, set the stage for it, I'm sure they'd be down. And then, it's good content. And it's a great thing to have on on my stream. Great content to put out there. And yeah, a lot of people seem really excited about just kind of seeing something like this go down. And it's kind of definitely made me think about other things like this that I could probably do in the future. So definitely be on the lookout for that, to be honest. Yeah, so I'm looking at like maybe doing something like once a month or something similar to this um in the future. But yeah, it's starting with this one this Sunday. So 2 days from now, when you guys are listening to this, January 14th, 3 p.m. Pacific over on my Twitch channel, Azul GG. So make sure you come by and check it out. Best of nine, Tina versus Guardy. That's a lot of Tina versus Guardy. We'll see how it goes.
It's a long
Um,
time.
yeah.
And
But I'm
they're
sure
gonna
it'll
be
be
like taking
fun.
it they're both gonna be try harding as well, thinking
Yeah,
through
yeah,
every
yeah.
little possible thing that could happen.
Yeah. So that already thinking about that has already made me think about ways to kind of make these kind of show matches a little bit more interactive in the future. So, yeah, definitely plan on doing more stuff like this. I guess, like I said, so look out for that. But yeah, I'm excited for this first one. It'll be a ton of fun. It's gonna be a good time. Um,
What are
and
your
yeah,
thoughts on the matchup?
I think it's like slightly Guardy favored. So the lists, I was gonna actually tweet out the lists on my tweet as well.
Yeah, you didn't do
Um,
that.
yeah, so it is gonna be Jake's gonna have the Deoxys, the Cresselia, and the Jirachi, and then Bradner is gonna have the
Is the Deoxys even good in this matchup?
yeah, because like, it's a good initial attacker.
I guess you can
Um,
use the V-Star power.
yeah, the V-Star power as well, so it's like a good initial attacker, and then Bradner is gonna have the Avery though.
Yeah,
Bradner played the Avery at Portland, and is gonna have that Avery in there. So the
that
Avery's
seems like
also
the big
pretty
tech,
good.
but only 3 path, only 3 path.
Only 3 path to work with though, for sure. So, it'll be interesting. Yeah, I think I favor like I said, I think I favor Guardy slightly overall, but, like, once you get the Avery involved, I don't know, like, it's a pretty big card if you hit it. Avery plus Greninja becomes a threat, Avery plus Sableye becomes a threat because you can't really keep Manaphy and Jirachi on your bench. So, yeah, the Avery's gonna be, like, the biggest player in the matchup, I think, overall. I'm also
Certainly
curious
interested
to
to
see,
see how it's, gonna play out.
yeah. I guess I'm also curious to see, like, I assume both of them are gonna choose first, but I could see Bradner thinking I mean, I don't know for sure, but I could see it being better for Tina to go second, to be honest, which would then make it better to go second overall. But I don't know. I guess like with Mirage, it kind of makes it doesn't
Yeah.
seem great to choose. But if you get off like turn one cram going second, like I don't know, that sounds like it could be reasonable. You have to get off the turn one cram to I think to be up in the project. I don't think you want to get off the turn one a bit seeking going second
Also,
into a Mirage
making
step.
Guardy go first does decrease their, like, outs to setting up, right?
An aggressive start. They're almost always relegated to like
Yeah,
Mirage
they,
step. It
like,
feels like
have to
these
Mirage
days.
Step, and then if they ever prized a Kirlia, you've got the Avery as well, like you said, like,
Yeah.
I could see it
So
too.
I'd assume going first is going to be the route, but I guess we'll wait and see what they choose and see how it goes. But yeah, excited for this match on Sunday for sure.
Yeah,
It's
so
good
be
to
sure to
see.
tune in if you guys are interested. It's gonna be 6 PM Eastern Time over on Azul's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AzulGG.
Yeah, I feel like you don't get to see. I mean, you do like on stream. You do get to see some top level play like at the regionals, but I feel like this is like kind of a next level of play we'll see. Like it's more games, so
Variants.
less variance from bad draws, bad prize cards, and then like not quite infinite time that we playing on PTCG Live, so they will still have the timer pushing them along on PTCG Live, but like they'll have more time than they normally
Do you think
would.
anyone will
So
time out?
I think it's a good possibility. Yeah, on the Guardy side, I would say probably not on Bradner's side, just 'cause there's way less
There's more
actions to happen.
actions for Gardevoir every turn.
Yeah, I guess maybe on the Guardy side, but probably not overall, probably not
More
on either
actions on
side.
Guardy side, so it's like there's more opportunity for Jake to, like, take the full what's it, 30 seconds between action on PTCG Live or something like that?
I have no clue.
Yeah,
Is
so,
it
like,
I think
there's
it
a
might be
chance that
30
he,
seconds,
like,
yeah.
could take that full time, like, multiple times, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, more
Definitely
likely to
interested to
happen on
see
Jake's
what'll
side.
happen. It's like
Yeah.
and it's not like money matches are a new thing in Pokemon TCG, like, friends have been doing money matches against each other for, like, forever, arguing about, like, who they think is favored in a certain matchup. It's like, "Alright, put your money where your mouth is," $10 money match. I've done that plenty of times over the years with friends and stuff like that, so it's kind of funny to now see it on full display, in, stream form, content form. I assume you'll be uploading it to YouTube as well, yeah?
Yeah, it'll make its way to YouTube, definitely. For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, cool. Well, yeah, big news this week with that happening for Azul this weekend, but also released this week is the announcement of the 2024 Pokemon TCG standard format rotation. Something Pokemon likes to do every single year to keep the game lively and keep things changing up so we don't see the same old decks dominating time after time. So, come April 5th, 2024, cards with the E regulation mark will no longer be legal to play for the standard format. And I think they picked three pretty good cards to depict on the announcement, right? I would say the three cards that of this E block have definitely been the most meta defining ones: Mew VMAX, Path to the Peak, and Battle VIP Pass.
Yeah, whoever wrote this up is very in tune with the competitive, meta for sure. I don't
Imagine they
know.
just picked like three totally random E block cards like
Do they have the author of the I mean, I'm curious.
Rillaboom VMAX.
Is there, like, whoever wrote this up, is their name on
It's
it?
not on
No.
here, no.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, but they definitely seem to be into but yeah, it's funny the cards that they chose for you. The Mew, the Path, and the Battle VIP Pass. Although I feel like, I mean, I think people are I don't know. Mew honestly is like not is like definitely gotten toned down to like a reasonable deck. Obviously, VIP Pass is a pretty toxic card. But I feel like people are kind of 50-50 split on Path. A lot of people are like, but I think a lot of this discussion around this
Between it
rotation.
being toxic or healthy, you mean?
Well, yeah, just like it doesn't. I mean, I don't think Path is a toxic card. I think it's a pretty healthy card overall. And it feels like a lot of people feel that way as well, and want something to kind of fill that gap, fill that void of
Yeah.
ability control. Doesn't have to be Path to the Peak. It can be something else, obviously. But I feel like a lot of a lot of takes I hear about this rotation, I feel like are coming from a lot of people with inexperience in Pokemon rotations because there's like so many new players in the game. A lot of things that I see people are say is like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, when they're talking about things need to be reprint or what are we going to do without this card? It's like just calm down, let the cards rotate, play with the new standard format. It's just Pokemon all over again. Stop stressing, stop worrying about it. I think it's a lot of the comments I've seen about rotation coming up have just been seemingly from a lot of people who just are probably newer to the game. So this is like their first rotation in Pokemon, or maybe second rotation.
Second rotation, yeah.
And they weren't as in tune with the game for the rotation last year, so they didn't really know what was happening.
It felt like the one last
Um,
year kinda didn't hit quite as hard, right? It, like, really hit Lugia really
and
hard.
everyone was hype about that. So
Yeah.
we all
Yeah.
rejoiced on that one. So but yeah, this is like nothing like this rotation was predictable, right? We knew it was going to be in March with the new set and E blocks rotating, right? And I actually do like the consistency of the letter blocks rotation. So we just know what's rotating every time. We basically know what's going to be in March. I guess the only thing that would maybe ever change is they would put our rotation closer to Japan's rotation and release our first
Set
year set.
earlier.
Yeah. So like maybe next year we'll rotate in January with Japan and we'll also get a set release in January as well. I think that would be ideal is to get
And move
closer.
EUIC up in the year too.
Yeah, sure. Or add new add another IC back. I don't know where. But I don't think we're going. I don't think we're probably not going back to Australia. If so, but if they could add another
Yeah.
IC, I guess theoretically. Um, but yeah, that's yeah, it's predictable, but that's fine. And I think it's fine if it's predictable moving forward. I guess it would be curious. You mentioned what did you say at the beginning of talking about rotation? Oh yeah, like we rotate. I don't know. You said something. What if we did switch from rotating to banning cards, like more aggressively, right? Like Yu-Gi-Oh does or like Magic does. Um,
And we kept, like,
I don't
everything legal.
Yeah, everything stays legal and they just ban aggressively. I don't think it would be bad as long as they were good about it,
I
but
think it's bad for the secondary market. I think that one of Pokemon's biggest pros, and then, like, the main reason that Pokemon is
it's
doing the
true.
best of all competitive card games right now, maybe you could make an argument for One Piece, but, like, the biggest issue One Piece has
Recently,
compared to
I've
what
heard something along
Pokemon
that.
has is, like, the cost of a deck.
Yeah.
Like, building a One Piece deck, you're gonna spend $200 on the first 4 cards. You could
Yeah.
take $200 and build 3 to 4 top tier Pokemon decks
Yeah,
easily,
that's
you
true. I
know?
guess if it's gonna affect the market that much, then it's probably we wanna keep it cheap for sure. So, actually someone, I forgot who it was, I think it was Chaotic Meatball, who is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Content creator who's, like, dabbled in Pokemon.
No,
Uh
he's like a Pokemon Nuzlocker
oh, really?
who's played Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon
Oh,
TCG,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
My bad. I apologize, Meatball. But they someone was talking about how there's one card in Yu-Gi-Oh right now that costs $150 for one card. And then they added me on like you can buy this whole fire deck for less than that. And my response to them was like from the inside looking out, from like being a Pokemon player, looking at the other games, I just don't see why you would, as long as you enjoy Pokemon, I don't see why you would actually go play any other game right now. Like Pokemon has it all. They have like TPCI, who has shown this year, especially, that they're looking to try and keep up with the growth of the game in terms of like prize pool and all that stuff, making events bigger. The game's cheap. The game's getting better, like competitively.
Yep.
The cards that are coming out of Japan that the creators of the game are making. The gameplay is overall getting better. Like yeah, I just don't see and the biggest thing is the accessibility of the cards for sure, right? And especially in North America right now, the accessibility of playing in events is also just fine. We haven't had a tournament cap and I guess Knoxville
Not
capped pretty
immediately
fast,
cap.
but
Yeah.
Knoxville did. But all the other ones besides Knoxville haven't even capped immediately. So like, yeah, there's just like no reason to not just be playing Pokemon if you enjoy competitive strategy game card games. And you enjoy like the fundamentals of Pokemon, just like it makes no sense
It's
to play
definitely gotta
anything
be the
else.
most plus EV for, like,
Yeah, it's not even
someone
close.
who's good at it too, you know, like
Yeah, that as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, Yeah, and it's not that I want the other card games to not exist or anything, it's just, like, it doesn't make any sense to play any of the other card games as long as you enjoy Pokemon, 'cause yeah, the biggest thing is just the cost of the other games is just ridiculous,
Yeah.
compared to
Well, I
Pokemon, it's
mean,
actually
so
insane.
I guess let me ask you this though, like someone like you
Mm,
know, you're not especially attached to Pokemon, I feel like,
true, yeah.
it's the cards that you played when you were a kid, so it's what you kinda stuck with and played. I mean, think back to, like, 2016, 2017, like, you're doing really well as a competitor in Pokemon, um, but, like, other card games were arguably doing better, Magic was still
Yep,
booming, the Pro
that's
Tour and
true,
stuff like
yeah.
that. What kept you from trying to go hard at that? I can't imagine it was specifically the cost of the cards, like, to you, I feel like that's not something you ever really worry or think about.
Um, I mean, cost of it is part of it, like, even I was mostly just because of people I knew in the community, right, and that has to be other people's attachments to other games as well, right, and I
Sure.
guess with that as well,
And
with something like
or people's
Magic.
attachments to the franchise.
Yeah, attachments to the franchise, attachments to knowing the community, knowing the people. Um, so those are definitely things that'll keep anyone in any specific game over another. And then it also kind of feels like sunken cost. Like once you invest into a Magic Commander deck, you're like, all right, we're in, or like a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. Like the Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have rotation, so anything you buy until it gets banned, is standard legal, right? So you definitely are, like, in a little bit more. But, yeah, if you're looking for something new, I guess, is, like, the biggest thing. If you're looking for, like, a new card game to pick up, but that was, like, one of the things with, me and Caleb talked about going to I mentioned this a couple times now, going to a Flesh and Blood regional or whatever major event in Vegas, but the decks cost, like, $800. I was like, we wanted to do it. We were down because he had been, that's when back when he worked for Channel Fireball, and that was, like, one of their big things was Flesh and Blood. So he had dabbled in the game a little bit and knew about it. And we're like, "Yo, that's actually yeah, I mean, I'll be down to learn a new game." Flights to Vegas are cheap. Let's just get let's get the cheapest standard deck. Oh, it's $1,000. Okay, well, nope, I'm not gonna do that. But like anyone who wants to get into Pokemon, it's like, oh, it's $60 to get a tier 1 deck or top tier deck, tier 3 deck in the top three tiers. It's like, okay, yeah, I can just go pick this up. And it's like so much more. It's like going to like a sports game even, right? Like, to get, like, a decent tickets at a sports game, you can be like, "Me and my friends who play Magic, we're gonna go buy a Pokemon deck and play in a Pokemon regional," right? And it's like, total would be like $130 to get a $60 deck, $70 entry fee. That's like a
Yeah,
good ticket
ignoring
at a
cost of
sports
travel
game,
and stuff.
right? Like, if it's a nearby regional,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah.
driving distance one, it's like, you can just go, like, experience Pokemon for the first time on that level so conveniently, right? So that's what we're trying to do with Flesh and Blood, but it's like that's not possible. You can't. I mean, it is possible, but I don't want to drop $1,000 on a deck I'm going to play at one regional. But if there
Yeah,
was like $100 Flesh and Blood deck I could have picked up and played, I would have gone and played in it, right? Um, yeah, I think it's like if the other games don't do something, I think Pokemon just going to become huge. It's going to overtake uh the majority of the competitive card game space if the Yu-Gi-Ohs and I mean, I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh's plateaued for a really long time now, but Magic's on the downswing because of how they've been managing stuff recently. So if the other
yeah,
card games One Piece has a huge opportunity, I feel like, to kind of take some space as
definitely,
well. But if not, I think Pokemon's just gonna take over. They're gonna become huge. It'll be, like, insane. There's no reason to, like, go to a different card game, or if you wanna go learn a new card game, it makes way more sense to go try a Pokemon first because of how cheap it is to get into.
for sure. And like you said, the game is, like, really fun right now, genuinely,
Yeah,
like,
it's getting
and, like,
good.
the new cards coming out have been, really interesting and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, back to the point about rotation, let's talk about some of the cards that are leaving. I saw this on Twitter from, Stephen Kent, who's a supporter of the podcast, so shout outs to you, Stephen, judge in the community as well. Uh I see plenty of these, as we come up to rotation. I'm sure there'll be plenty more posts of like appreciation of the cards that are leaving. But yeah, this E block, all the cards that are leaving. I mean, there's some pretty dang good cards in E block. Not just like obviously there's the top tier stuff like the Mew VMAX, stuff like the
Wait,
Urshifu
is
that
this
has been
it?
good consistently, but like even just stuff you don't think about that often, like level ball and escape rope, like just kind of like vanilla cards that are good to have in the format
Yeah.
that exist. They're leaving us too, man.
Wait, is this it? Is this all we're losing? Like,
Well,
all the
these are like
relevant
the
cards?
big ones.
Okay. This does not look like that much.
It doesn't look
That's
like that much,
that's
but
kinda
if
one
you
of the problems with the Pokemon TCG though is, um, all the newest cards are, like, so much like, recently, all the newest cards have been so much better than the
yeah,
so, like, we still have Lugia Archeops, and we still have Lostina, we still have Charizard, we still have Miraidon, like, all the biggest decks right now, or most of them, I should say, we still have, right? We're losing the
yeah,
Rapid Strikes, But like yeah, the Duraludon and Umbreon haven't been relevant for a while.
I feel like the rotation doesn't really the last year I didn't feel like it, and this year I don't really feel like it either. It doesn't feel like it is hitting as hard as it
Yeah.
has in the past, for
Well, that's
sure.
because all the best cards are the newest cards.
Yes, yeah.
So that's why.
And
And
that
that's something hopefully we see, and that's something that recently since Scarlet and Violet has not been true. Like we got Gardevoir EX, we got Charizard EX,
Miraidon.
This stuff like the Meowscarada, the Miraidon popped up, but like overall, there hasn't been like a massive influx of new decks with each set release. So we might see those decks. This is what I've talked about for a little while. Maybe these decks are going to get their moment once rotation hits, and stuff shifts up enough for something like a Meowscarada to be good. Because I think Meowscarada is really close to being like actually a meta deck, being powerful enough to be a meta deck. So like stuff like that might see its
Yeah.
time. To be honest, like this kind of stuff, like I'm happy to see all these cards leave. Like it just like shakes up the meta. Things change. Things are like my favorite meta is always the next meta. So like big rotations or when rotation hits, which is like the biggest potential shift because it comes with a new set. You know, I'm always excited to just see stuff leave and kind of force you to play things differently because you're not really you are getting new cards with the new set, but it's not like you're like now you have to figure out how to play decks without Battle VIP Pass or whatever. Or what is the best way to play them without Battle VIP Pass, stuff like
Yeah.
that. You don't just add four VIP Pass to every deck to begin when you start building a deck now.
You're not gonna miss Kyogre, like, just a little bit?
Like I don't miss anything because like it's
Oh,
because
come on, man.
the
Dude,
new
this guy
meta
has no emotional attachment to anything.
I'm just excited for the new meta more than I care about losing cards. Like, all right, now I gotta go build Miraidon the best way possible without the Flaffies and the Battle VIP pass if you had
Azul,
that in there.
would you be sad if that, your Pikachu Worlds trophy right behind you just, like, one day tipped over, fell off the shelf, and just, like, smashed into a million pieces? Would you be sad?
Yeah, that would be sad.
But, like, how sad would you
The
be?
idea of the new meta excites me more than losing the old. I don't care about losing the old cards because that means there's a new meta
Dude,
to play Pokemon in. Like I just want to
literally
play more new Pokemon. I don't
I
care
just
about the old
realized looking at
Pokemon.
this,
I
you're,
played
like,
enough
just
old
confirmed
Pokemon.
confirmed washed when this rotation happens because like, your 2 big wins they're rotating. Flying Pikachu's gone, Kyogre's gone. What are
Kyogre's
you gonna do,
gone.
man? Who are you
Mew's
even?
gone as well for my world's top 4.
Yep.
Yep,
I
goes
guess you're a
Brandon.
Charizard gamer now.
I gotta be a Charizard gamer. Wait, it's not it wait, for OCIC, there wasn't even Kyogre in the deck.
Oh,
Didn't
you're
even play
right. Yeah,
Kyogre, yeah.
yeah,
Alright, saved, unwashed, unwashed.
yeah. He lives to fight another day.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just excited for the shift, the shift that rotation brings. Like, I'm
I
excited for
always do
how to play the game
enjoy,
there.
like, new set metas, but then also rotation metas. Like, I've always said this, just, like, seeing what new stuff people come up with, what old stuff becomes better
That's the most
because
exciting part, to be
some things
honest.
rotate out or new cards come out that give it better support and stuff like that.
And we didn't see
Um,
that last rotation at all, nothing changed. Like, literally, Lugia got worse, like, a lot worse, but basically, we still Lost Box, still Lugia, still Mew, still Arceus decks. So,
yeah.
yeah, like, basically nothing changed. We'll see if this one's any different. It might not be. We might need, like, one more rotation to kind of give us that full Scarlet and Violet on, um, shift that they kind of where things started shifting heavily with Scarlet and Violet, but we're still gonna have, some sets pre-Scarlet and Violet with
I
this
wouldn't
rotation.
have hated if they rotated 2 blocks, to be honest.
That's such a small card pool.
It's small, but it's workable.
That's the 2011 midseason rotation shenanigans. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
That was one of the worst formats of all time. All the decks, you were just literally we played 4 reversal. People had 4 reversal in their decks. That's terrible. We're just out here flipping reversals. Like what? That
Well,
can't be a
speaking
good
of,
thing.
new sets, new cards, all that stuff, there were a few more new cards revealed recently. Honestly, I'm kinda glad that our podcast, like, didn't release like normal on like, we didn't record it like normal on the 9th and release it on the 10th because we would have missed, like, the rotation announcement first off.
True.
Um, the new A-Spec card that we'll talk about, we would have missed that as well. So, kind of a good thing that it worked out the way it did. But let's hop over to Twan Lay's Twitter. Shout outs as always to Twan for
Yep.
the translations. Um, and yeah, look at some of these new items. First off, this one got released. I think it was like Friday night of Portland. I remember like going to bed, I think, and like scrolling through Twitter and being like, oh snap, that's pretty good. And that is the Buddy Buddy Poffin from Scarlet Violet 5 item card. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. So Battle VIP Pass might be rotating, or is it? Is it
Oh,
rotating?
oh yeah, true. 'Cause we got the what is a puffin, though? Have you ever had the cereal Puffins?
Dude, puffins are a bird.
Yeah, but there's a cereal called is a puffin like some weird Pokemon food?
Yes, Poffin is from the Pokemon franchise.
Oh, see, I thought it was like a real food. Oh, never mind. But yeah, it made me think of puffins. It might be like a New England thing, to be honest.
A Poffin is uh used well, I know I didn't really play much Diamond and Pearl when I was a kid, so I don't know them as well from Diamond and Pearl, but they are in Pokemon Go. It's an item in Pokemon Go. I know them from that mostly. But apparently you
Yeah.
can make all kinds of different Poffins in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, but
See, they
this
look
is
kinda
just the Buddy
look
Buddy
up
Poffin.
look up puffin cereal.
Puffin cereal?
Yeah, it just made me think of, uh, yeah,
I've never seen this cereal before.
yeah. They've actually rebranded since the
Barbara's
last time I had
Puffin
it.
cereal.
Yeah.
Is this what you recognize, this, like, older box?
Um, I think so, yeah. The newer ones are a little bit different. But yeah. I don't know, I saw puffins as I thought of puff and it's kinda similar looking, I guess,
Have
a
you ever
little
gone to,
bit.
like, a zoo that has a Puffins exhibit?
I don't think so.
The North Carolina Zoo, is a great zoo, by the way, if you're ever, in North Carolina for an extended period of time and you're looking for
It's
something
always
fun to
hyping
do.
up this zoo,
The North
bro.
Carolina Zoo is excellent. It's in my hometown as well. But anyway, um, they have a Puffins exhibit, and it's really cool. It's like this big glass wall where and it's this massive room that you can see the puffins like diving under the water and stuff like that. So it's like a half tank, half like, place for them to, kind of be like they're on like an ice wall, which is where they would be in their
Yeah.
natural habitat, or on a cliffside. Um, it's really, really cool, but it smells terrible, dude. Like, it is maybe one of the most vile smells that you could experience that's, like, not just, like, actual waste or sewage, and it kind of almost is waste or sewage because that's what the smell is coming from, like,
Yeah.
the dirty birds.
I don't think I'm thinking about, like, the New England Aquarium. There's not a puffin exhibit, but they have penguins. I think there's puffins and penguins in the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
one. But yeah, the card, search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon, 70 HP or less, put them onto your bench, and it is an item card. So, similar to Battle VIP Pass, gets 2 basics, but they have to have 70 HP or less, so this is very much geared towards those evolution decks.
Yep.
So, we've been seeing a lot of powerful basic Pokemon come out recently, and I was like, come on, what more of this with all the future and ancient Pokemon that were revealed?" I didn't think we are gonna get any big reveals until maybe the next Champions League in February, I believe, for the March set. But they came out with this is a big card for sure. The Poffins is a huge card for those evolution decks, those stage 2 evolution decks. So I think stage 2 evolutions are safe. I think we can say that for sure. It looked a little bit scary. They're coming out with a lot of 2 prize basic Pokemon, but then saved some of the reveals for a little bit later. And I'm feeling a little bit better now about this upcoming March set release for sure with the Puffins. A lot of people
Yeah.
are, so I've seen some people say that they think this is going to be a toxic card again, but I don't think so. Battle VIP Pass was toxic because you had to use it on your first turn and it could find anything. The
Yeah.
Puffin's limited to just the 70 HP basic Pokemon and them having to go to the bench, so you can't just use it to like thin out your deck or fuel up your hand. Kind of use it as like a card value card in the mid game to like play one to get two to play an Ultra Ball or something. Um, and limited to the 70 HP. Yeah, I think it seems like a pretty good card. I think it's just gonna be a good card.
I think it's a super good card. I don't think it's toxic, but I think it's like a top tier card.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. But we
yeah.
need there has to be something has to be better than other things, right? I think it's like
Well, I
something.
don't know
I
that
think
we
it's like
need
a
this and Nest Ball and Ultra Ball, like
we did just lose level ball though.
we
Like
did just lose Level Ball, but did we have to
I
would
don't.
you rather this than a Level Ball reprint?
I
Or would
think
you rather this than like a Pokemon Communication
level
reprint?
level ball is pretty broken. Calm. You could make an argument for calm being a little bit more
This is
balanced.
like almost Level Ball, but just better.
I mean, decks that are good with level ball are like really good with level ball, like Gardevoir or like Rapid Strike
Yeah,
Malamar
you know
stuff
what
like
this is
that.
really good in?
Every stage two deck.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Gardevoir.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you don't have it out
You
to the
can't get Curlia,
Curlias.
sure,
Yeah.
sure.
See, Ultra Ball for a Curlia sounds like an L for sure. Like that's just not good card value. Um, I mean, yeah, sometimes when cards come out, I feel like people don't like one card has to be better than the other card.
Yeah.
Like there always has to be better cards. I feel like some people are like expecting every card to be equally good. It's like that's not possible. Prime catchers, maybe I will agree. Prime catcher does seem like they're overdoing it. I guess one thing we could mention with that is there is going to be 7 ace specs in our March set. So that's actually, I think, a good sign. We've seen 4 of them now, right?
Yeah.
Um, so there'll be gonna be 3 more that we're gonna be getting. I think that's a good sign. Like, Prime Catcher obviously gonna be the best. It's gonna be really hard to beat, if even possible, without breaking the game. But if we have enough other decent options, I don't think Prime Catcher is gonna be as overwhelming probably as people think. We just need enough other
Yeah.
decent ones.
I mean, I just think based on the other 3 we've seen, and we'll talk about the 4th new one here in a minute when we scroll up to it, but, I think if you take out Prime Catcher and look at the other 3, it's like you could make
That
a
could have been
compelling
cool.
argument depending on each deck,
Yeah.
like, "Oh, yeah, this would be good, this would be good, this would be good." Whereas now, just 90% of the time, your opponent's just gonna have Prime Catcher in their deck. Maybe, like,
Yeah.
98% of the time, honestly, like
Oh, I guess one thing we could hope for, we haven't seen it in a while, it could be so good they ban it. And honestly, but yeah, honestly, I agree with that. I think I saw someone else tweet that out as well. If you look at the other A specs, maybe you tweeted it. If you look at the
I did
other
not.
A specs, um, if you just get rid of Prime Catcher, it's like, okay, these are all good cards. Which one do you play? Well, then it just kind of seems deck specific to begin with, but then it's like maybe a couple work in your deck. Now, which one do you play, right? But yeah, Poffins, I think, good card. It doesn't seem, yeah, I don't think it's toxic or anything. Just like good for stage shoes, especially with all these powerful basic Pokemon coming out. I mean, we need some way to combat the Iron Hands. Iron Hands isn't going anywhere. It's still here. We still have
It's true.
Generator. Like, we need to find enough basics so we can combat the Iron Hands. So yeah, I think this is just like fine. And I think it's like very obviously geared towards those stage 2 decks.
Another new card, Mist Energy, a special energy. While attached to a Pokemon, this card provides one colorless energy and then prevent all effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to the Pokemon this card is attached to. So, yeah, yet another card. Seems very good, like it'll be played in something at some point. Definitely not game breaking by any means. I mean, this like type of effect has existed in other things, like the big parasol that was played at some point. It's very like meta dependent though, where this would be played.
Lugia is still here, right? So we can still combo this with Lugia. People are talking about this in
Is Lugia
Charizard.
still here?
Or what do we lose?
Lugia is still here, but I mean, like, is it still here? Like,
I don't think it loses anything. The
well,
current builds of Lugia are
dude?
still
When's the last
playable.
time you saw someone play Lugia at a regional championships?
Geisler got top 32 at San Antonio.
Yeah, and didn't you say you talked to him and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I just didn't have time to figure anything else out."
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, so I'm saying, enough
Dude,
social energy will come out eventually where it'll probably be a top tier deck again, right? We just have to wait for more. But this is a start. This is a start. We don't know what the meta looks like after rotation. Like, Lugia might be in a fine spot,
I think as long
and
as
this energy might be
Lugia is
part of
legal,
that.
though, they have to be very careful about any sort of rainbow energy.
Yeah, they do have to like look out for that for sure. But I think it's fine for Lugia to become a tier 1 deck again. Like, as long as it doesn't become pre-rotation Lugia again.
Sure.
But people were talking about this card in Charizard specifically. I saw a lot of people like, oh my gosh, you can put it on your Charizard and you can't get Star Requiem. Like, bro, let rotation happen. Who knows if Tina or Charizard are gonna be good? Like, who cares about that interaction
I gotta tell
right
you as well,
now?
I think both those cards are still pretty dang good, buddy.
Well, probably, but like, just let rotation happen. Like, we don't have to get mad about missed energy making Charizard broken. Whoa, whoa, whoa! A new card just dropped. Twan literally just tweeted a new card. All right, keep going, keep
Like,
going.
as we're
Yes, as we're
okay, okay, we're almost
we're
there. There's
going.
only 2 more to look at.
All
We've
right, yeah,
got
we can. I mean,
Dudunsparce, huh?
I won't read it. I'll save it to so we
Okay,
can read
okay.
it together.
Live reaction coming up soon
Yeah,
from Azul. Is
that's
it does it look crazy though? Okay, okay, never mind. Don't read. All right,
that's
Dudunsparce,
310 HP. All right, keep
310
going.
HP?
Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, oh my gosh. Wait, talk it's an evolution? Oh snap. Okay.
Okay, all right.
I'm excited, bro. Okay, okay, okay,
Dude, I'm
okay.
excited too. Hang on,
Dududuns
I'm actually gonna change my.
Dududunsparce here. It's got the ability Draw and Skedaddle. Excellent ability name, by the way. And this
Yeah.
is pretty unique, something we haven't really seen before. Once during your turn, you may draw 3 cards. If you do, shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it back into your deck. And it's got Land Crash, 3 colorless, 90 damage.
Yeah, so draw engine here with the Dunsparce. Chip was questioning whether or not we should actually read this card. I was like, yes, this is a really interesting card. And you know what gets your Dunsparces back in play? Often put a couple back, get a couple out. And then also, this is some Iono protection here as well, right? Your opponent Ionos you, you got 2 Dunsparces in play with the Skedaddle ready to go. Like, they're cooked. They're done. You're getting that
Skedaddle, just
boss.
get them out, bro.
So yeah, I think it's interesting. Will be interesting. The Dunsparce draw engine, probably 4/4 to Dunsparce. I don't know what you're gonna play it in, but like it's an interesting draw engine for sure.
Well, I
Does
gotta tell you,
B-Barrel
buddy,
even
the good
rotate?
Dunsparce is rotating, by the way.
It doesn't matter. We're not all weak to lightning out here.
Yeah, sure.
It
I
just
just
B-Barrel doesn't rotate though,
here's
right?
what we need. This is all we need. And then,
So chill.
oh
Wait,
snap.
didn't we have a reprint of this recently?
This is the
This is the
reprint of
reprint.
this.
Yeah. Okay. That would be crazy, to be honest. If they gave us the strike and run Dunsparce with the Dunsparce, whew, that would be good. That would be really good.
See, that's what I would love to see happen is, like, if there was a meta where, like, something like this was usable. Like,
I
we
think you would
have
need
Pidgey, Call for
something.
Family that you're only
Yeah.
using as, like, the most dire of situations,
We
pretty much.
have, Bombardier, okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, but, like, that card will not ever be that good. It might be good okay at some point, but, like, as long as stuff like Buddy Poffin and Nest Ball and, like, all these things exist, like, those
As
cards are
long
just
as
never gonna be that good.
Pidgey also has Call for Family on it.
Yeah, like
Well, that's fine. Like, if no, if but if they printed out this Dunsparce with the Dunsparce, that'd be probably pretty good.
yeah.
Who knows? They might give it to us eventually.
Yeah, maybe.
The Dunsparce that's coming out with the
Okay,
Dunsparce is
we
not
gotta
that
hurry
good.
up because I wanna see what the new card is.
Well,
I wonder if there's gonna be
hold on. Oh, I had something else I was gonna say about the Dunsparce.
okay, well, hurry up.
Well, now I forgot, so I don't have. Oh no, we can play with the other Dunsparce, which is kind of interesting, but that's not what I was gonna say. They all go back to the deck actually. And
Yep.
the other one goes back to the deck. Chip's like really excited for this card.
It has 310 HP. I haven't even seen what it looks like. I don't know what Pokemon it is.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to give you a hint of what Pokemon it is, so you can try and guess?
Does it have a flavor text in Japanese?
In my house right now, it is the most
It's a
Pokemon.
Gengar.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway,
All right, keep
we've
going.
got I bet Lorelai's freaking out right now too. Okay.
Probably.
We've got Hero's Cape from SV5. They did another one of these things, by the way, where they like teased a new card
Yeah,
reveal was coming, which is kind of
but this time it
interesting.
wasn't Energy Lotto.
Well, here's the thing I want to know. Like,
What?
what in the card designer's mind like had to go on for them to be like, okay, we've got all these new A specs. We're gonna do a special reveal for one of them. And then the one they did the special reveal for was not Prime Catcher.
Um,
Like, if there's one to do a special reveal for,
but I
it
feel
is
like Prime
definitely
Catcher would
like
have
game-shattering Prime Catcher for
that would
sure,
have like
right?
ruined it, right? I feel like if they had like revealed all the other ones first, we'd have been so hype about those, and then there's like, oh, and Prime Catcher. It's like,
That's
but
probably true.
they've kind of gotten Prime Catcher out of the way, so now we're through the
They were
trauma or
ripping the
whatever you
Band-Aid
call it of Prime
off.
Catcher. Yeah, they ripped the Band-Aid off. We had
Actually,
our
no,
Prime
no, no,
Catcher
no,
moment.
no. They were creating the wound that required a Band-Aid, you know?
That's Hero's Cape.
No, that's Prime Catcher.
Oh, okay.
And
But
then
yeah,
there's Hero's Cape, which is a tool, a spec, cool to see. So, we've got special energy, we've got item cards, and now we have tool cards potentially, maybe more. Maybe we'll see some stadium, a
I think
spec.
they confirmed that the A-Specs are all it's gonna be 1 energy card and 6 trainer cards. I
They
saw that
did say
somewhere.
that,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So no more energy for this set. Um,
And no Pokemon, which I think makes sense.
yeah, we probably won't see any Pokemon. Although I'd be curious to see if they did do a Pokemon, but we probably won't see any Pokemon A-Specs.
But here is the Hero's Cape from Scarlet Violet 5. A spec tool card. The Pokemon this card is attached to gets plus 100 HP.
Yep,
That's a lot of HP.
yep, and unlike the Luxurious Cape, you're not worth 1 more prize card. So and you can put this on anything, right? Luxurious Cape only triggered on non-rule box Pokemon. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a good card. It's a good tool card. I saw someone talking about it with Banette EX, which could be interesting. Item locking plus an extra 100 HP. I guess we does Cheryl rotate? See, I don't even know what rotates. Does Cheryl
sure
rotate?
does rotate.
Okay.
I saw someone tweet a picture of it with this.
Yeah. That's big. That's
That's
real big.
450 HP, buddy.
Lost vacuum still in the format though. So it's
Yeah.
one of those things though where it could the like I'm sure Sander is a big fan of the cape. We
You
got
ready
4
for
camera
this?
catcher. Oh no.
Conkeldurr from Noble Victories.
Is that how you say it? It's not
Craftsmanship. This
Conkeldurr?
Pokemon gets plus 20 HP for each fighting energy attached to it.
It's not Conkeldurr, it's Conkeldurr?
Bro, I don't know.
You're supposed to know this stuff.
I probably should know this.
But what I was saying, I'm pretty sure like someone like Sander is more excited for the cape than Prime Catcher, for like control type deck. So this what the cape is one of those cards where if there's just not enough vacuum in the format, there's definitely a lot of advantage to be gained from this in like weird situations where you could like yeah, there's a lot of advantage to be taken advantage of in a specific meta that's like not revolved around tool removal. And right now, like tool removal currently, and like moving forward, I can't think of a reason why everyone has like 1 to 2 vacuums in their deck. It's just like really convenient to have in Charizard, and it's good in Lost Zone decks to up your Lost Zone. But yeah, this card could be. Oh, one thing we didn't mention with Poffin is I was kind of hoping Lost Zone would kind of die. Because I'm fine with
Yeah,
that,
bro.
but I think
Comfy's got
Poffin will
70
keep
HP.
yeah, I think Poffin will keep Lost Zone decks around for a little while, but you don't have to find your Comfies more aggressively with
Errata
the Big Buddy
Comfy to 80
Poffin.
HP.
Yeah, or will they errata Sableye to 70?
Or will they ban Course's experiments?
Probably none of those things, but without Battle VIP Pass, no Battle VIP Pass definitely hits, but 4 Poffin, 4 Nest Ball should keep the Lost Zone decks chilling, to be honest, especially because you could, like, get Ditto involved to kinda get anything,
All
off the
right.
Ditto.
One more card, and then I get to go see what the cool new Gengar does. So we've got Reuniqueless. I know how to say that one, weirdly. Reuniqueless has the
Congratulations.
it's a stage 220 HP psychic type. It's got the attack for one colorless summoning gate. Look at the top 8 cards of your deck. Choose any number of Pokemon you find there and place them onto your bench. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. Speaking of cards that Sander is probably excited about, this would be one of them.
Yeah. It's funny that, if for, like, all new card releases, like, it's like, "Okay, is this card good? Is this card bad? Is this a Sander card?" There's, like, an extra category now. Sander has, like, established himself so much in the game, as, just who he is in the game that, like yeah, there's, like, another category for when we're looking at cards in the Pokemon TCG. It's like good, bad, Sander, and it could be good or it could be bad, and it could still fit in the Sander category. But, this one's interesting. You could definitely pull off some crazy combos, and it combos with the new Mallow reprint, right?
Yeah.
Search your deck for any 2 cards, put them on top of your deck, put 2 stage 2s or something crazy like that on top of your deck, get them out through a Uniclus, and you can set up some crazy combos with this for sure.
All
This is
right, I'm
definitely gonna be an
refreshing.
exciting card. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Oh, and a new
Oh,
ace
wait,
spec
there's an
too.
ace spec.
Okay.
Alright, start with
Live reaction here.
Alright.
There's like 20 new cards that just dropped.
Oh my alright, well, we might have to reference
Dude.
throughout the episode, we might have to come back and reference
Yeah,
Juan's
we'll talk about
Twitter.
Portland and then come back to the new cards. All right,
Okay,
let's look
well
at least these two real quick. We've got Gengar EX, a stage 2 dark type, 310 HP, 2 retreat, weak to fighting. That does not feel right. Uh Gengar's immune to fighting, by the way, as well. Anyway,
yeah,
it's got the
that does scare me.
ability Corroding Curse. Whenever your opponent attaches an energy from their hand to one of their Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. Doesn't say that Gengar has to be active. That's normally how those abilities work. Uh, and it also doesn't say that it doesn't stack. So that's another thing. And
These
then,
abilities always suck though, so
yeah,
I'm
well,
holding out hope.
not if you have 3 Gengars in play. Anyway, and then we've
Eh?
got Trick Step for 2 dark 160, you may move 1 energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their benched Pokemon.
We still have Dark Patch, right? That
We do
survives?
still have Dark.
Yeah, okay. Mm, look it up.
Yeah, I think we do. Yes, we do.
I just don't see how does anyone know any of this stuff ever? It's just so irrelevant to know.
Yes.
Yeah, we do. It's an F. Okay. Yes, that's huge for it. It's a lot of HP, 2-hit KO and everything. Pretty efficient energy wise with the Dark Patch. Put Greninja in there to get your energy in your discard pile.
There's some
You have some good haunters. Oh yeah, isn't the
there's a
haunter like?
Ghastly, I think.
What doesn't this haunter like? What does the haunter do when you put it?
I'm
Oh, don't
thinking
you
of
like give
this
them an
thing.
item?
This is old. This is what I was thinking of.
Oh, nope,
There's
not
this
it.
Ghastly. It's really old. It's from Unbroken Bonds. Whenever this Pokemon is knocked out, search your deck for 2 Haunter and put them onto your bench.
That sucks. Well, it sucks because it's gone. The haunter's not that good with this specifically.
Yeah.
Um, You can put a supporter card. You can with its ability when you evolve it, you can put a supporter card from their discard pile into their hand, which you probably don't want to do because,
No.
yeah. Oh well. Well, there'll be a new haunter that's coming out with the Gengar as well, so maybe that'll be a better haunter and Ghastly. Let's move on to the Ace spec though.
Okay. Ancient tool card item.
Item card.
Oh, item card, not a tool card. Sorry, it looks like a tool. Draw a card for each of your ancient Pokemon in play.
Pretty good. Does that compete against Prime Catcher? That's pretty good.
That's
Draw 6.
draw
Just
6, dude.
'cause you can boss. Like you can just do this and then boss, but you can also do this and do other things as well.
You
Like
could also research and then Prime Catcher.
we'll probably using Sada,
That
but
is true.
we got a
Dude, the
Sada.
card advantage that this Plasada.
Yes. So, that's actually weird when you do play Sada decks, it does feel like card advantage is the thing, which isn't really a thing in Pokemon in
Right.
general, but
Oh,
another one, alright. Wait, is there 2?
this is a future card.
Oh,
For each of your future Pokemon in play, choose 1 basic energy from your discard pile and
there it
attach
is.
it to that Pokemon. There it
That's what
is.
there's the future energy
It's an
acceleration,
A
and that's a
spec,
lot.
though.
Okay, how are we finding it? We got
That's
Arvin.
right.
Arvin.
Arvin.
Alright. Arvin Future. And you also get the tool card that gives you free retreat. That's
Arvin.
pretty good. That could accelerate 6 energy. You're not probably we'll probably have Greninja on our bench to get the energy in the discard pile. That could accelerate 5 energy. That's kinda crazy. There it is. But yeah, we're in our future deck, we're not playing Prime Catcher. We have to play the Reboot Bot. Reboot Bot gotta get in there. And for the Ancient one as well, I feel like you're just playing we're not playing Prime Catcher and Ancient, though. It's gotta be Boss plus, um we're using the Drum of Awakening plus Boss. That's like our Prime Catcher combo,
The
basically. Draw a
drum
bunch
kinda
and then play
nuts, to be
Boss.
honest.
Yeah, the drum yeah.
That's a lot
That
of cards,
to be
potentially.
honest, I think the Stage 2 decks need I think the Stage 2 decks need the Poffin and the Prime Catcher to survive because those are some good cards right there for Ancient and
Did we
Future,
react
and
too
their basics.
quickly to Prime Catcher?
That's what I was saying. I was like, "Let's wait and see." I mean, for, like, non-future, non-ancient decks, how are you not gonna play Prime Catcher? But, I mean, the Cape plus 100 HP, not bad.
It also might still
Um,
just be better in Roaring Moon, to be honest, to play Prime Catcher. Like, you already draw a lot of cards, and then you're like, how
yeah,
many ancient Pokemon do you have in play? When you have Squawkabilly plus, Greninja, Luminion, like
that's fair. Well, I was thinking more with, like, the new guy, the the Raikou, long neck.
the Giraffe,
Yeah, I was thinking more about that.
Raging Bolt.
Yeah, we just wanna find our Sadas.
It's pretty good in that, probably, yeah.
And, like, yeah, the future Pokemon can't exist without the Reboot Bot, I feel like. You have to play Reboot Bot in the
Right,
future decks.
I'm refreshing, and then we'll move on and come back.
Also,
Okay.
Reboot Bot with hands, like, come on. More energy acceleration for Iron Hands? Do we need that? You just put that in Miraidon with 2 hands, and
Yeah.
then that's kind of crazy. Like, you just get 2 hands down turn 1, play that, accelerate 1 to each, throw some generators
Double
out
Turbo's
there.
still in the format.
Yeah, Double Turbo is still in the format. Alright.
Peony rotates, though.
So does that mean there's 1 more Ace Spec? 1 more Ace Spec to be revealed, right?
Peony rotates, right? Yeah. Um, yeah, because what? We've got Prime Catcher, we've got the Energy, we've got these 2 new ones, we've got
Yep.
the new Tool card, and we've got Master Ball, so there's 1 more coming, yep.
1 more on the way. Alright, well, we'll
No,
come
no, no,
back
we're gonna
to
refresh.
alright, we'll
Okay,
come
okay, we'll come
back
back,
to
we'll come back, we'll
Twan's
come back.
Twitter here in a second. Let's move on, um, to the, uh take it away, Chip.
To take a quick second to thank our sponsor, Dragon Shield, for supporting the Uncommon Energy podcast. Huge shout out, as always, to Dragon Shield, best gaming products the in the marketplace, in the game. Definitely the best sleeves and other accessories as well. They've got deck boxes, playmats, binders, everything you could need, and much, much more. Azul, I think you were on stream twice this weekend, right, in
Yeah.
Portland? I did notice you were using 2 different sets of sleeves. I also noticed you were using some, dual mats. You usually don't use the dual mats. You decided to go that route this weekend?
Yeah, I took a set of dual mats, a set of the also the non-glares. I had the new
Oh, okay.
non-glares, which I know a lot of people are, like, a big fan of. So, yeah, the non-glares are back. The black non I think they only have them in black. It's just only in black, the non-glares. But, yeah, I know people are a big fan of non-glare sleeves. Um, yeah, Dragon Shield's non-glares are back, so definitely make sure you check them out. And the non-glares did feel good. I'm still a matte guy. I still just love the mats, but yeah, the non-glares felt pretty good. Dual mats still feel pretty good. I tried out all 3 of the different ones throughout the tournament. Actually, maybe I just use a set of non-glares, a set of mats, or a set of non-glares, set of dual mats.
I do not believe
That's
for
correct.
1 second that you did not re-sleeve halfway through day 1 because you are so paranoid and for no reason.
I honestly don't remember exactly, but, yeah, rocking the Dragon Shields as always. They did me well. Shout out to Dragon Shield as always for, sponsoring the podcast. If you wanna pick some up and you wanna support us, we have our affiliate link down in the description, or you can use the code UEPOD to get yourself a 5% off. And go ahead and move on to our next segment of the podcast. Guess that flavor text. My turn to pick a card to then read the flavor text on for Chip to try and guess which Pokemon that card belongs to. If Chip can guess without using any lifelines, Chip would get 4 points. For each lifeline you use though, there's 3 lifelines. You'll lose a point. I was able to guess it last week after using all 3 lifelines. And lifelines are what set the card is from, what stage the card is, and read an attack name. Chip, are you ready for this week's
Yeah, you were able to get a point last week, so
I
I'm
was, yeah.
definitely needing to increase that lead. I'm currently up 16 to 11 now. Azul scoring the first points in a little while. So let's see if we can make that back-to-back weeks of someone getting points. Let's do it.
All right. Its two whiskers provide a sensitive radar. Even in muddy waters, it can detect its prey's location.
Wizcash or Barboach. It's one of those two for sure. Let me hear it one more time.
Its two whiskers provide a sensitive radar. Even in muddy waters, it can detect its prey's location.
Yeah, I'm just locking it in right away. Wizcash. Let's get it. Come on.
Nope.
What? Bro, he's got the what? No way. I was so
All
sure.
right. Go ahead. Use a lifeline. We'll see if you can get it after.
What? All right, what set is the card from?
Guardians Rising.
What stage is the card?
Basic.
And let's read an attack name.
Mud Slap.
Oh, is it Barboach then?
Yes.
Dude,
Why did you
come
just ask what stage it was, dude? I was like, oh no,
Ah!
he's gonna get 3 points. I was like, oh man, a 3 point
Ah,
leap. It's funny.
Barboach.
Someone actually sent me it's the one there on the right.
Dude, no. I was so sure because the reason why I just locked it in right away is because I could
Did you know?
immediately
Picture
picture
the
the massive whiskers on Whiscash. And it's
dude,
like
I
Barboach probably has some sort of whiskers going on, but they are not like if anyone's finding anything with these whiskers, it is this little guy right here.
yeah.
This guy
Yeah.
can find everything with these whiskers.
Yeah, someone actually emailed me that one. Was like, yeah, we should do this one. I was like, all right, sure. We'll do the Barboach. Turns out, probably not the best of choices there until Chip choked.
Ah,
So it worked out.
dude. I should have just asked what stage it was because I knew it was one of the two. I just was like, I just went with my 90% gut feeling. I was 100% sure it was one of the two, and I was like 90% sure it was Cash. So I was like, you know what? Let's let it ride.
Yeah,
I
sh
shouldn't
you
have done that.
coulda walked away with 3, Chip. Like, you had it locked, like, you got greedy.
All right,
You
who wants
got
to see
greedy.
if Tuan has tweeted another new card? Oh, Wug Trio EX.
Go
Dude,
ahead.
look at this guy.
I
He's
know, it's crazy.
ridiculous. All right,
Rare
real quick before we
Pokemon.
move on to our Portland recap, we're going to look at Wug Trio EX. 250 HP, stage 1 lightning type, 1 retreat, weak to fighting. It has Trachea Pump for 1 water, Trachea, something like that. Discard up to 3 energy from your hand and choose one of your opponent's Pokemon. This attack does 60 damage to that Pokemon for each energy that you discarded in this way. And then for 2 water, 120, Tingly Bolt. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat.
This guy sucks. This is not
Yeah.
good. Nope. Yeah, another L Wug Trio card.
I
L
mean,
Trio.
I could see this being like
Lug Trio.
a 1/1 tech in some sort of like Cham Pow deck that already plays superior energy retrieval or something like that. If like you needed to hit for lightning weakness into something like that.
Stage 1, though, that feels,
Yeah, playing a 1/1 tech line is something we haven't seen people do in quite some time.
yeah. Alright, you wanna give it one more refresh before we move on?
Yes. Oh,
Oh,
we got another
here
one.
we
Did you
go. We got
see? Is
another
that why
one.
you asked?
No,
Okay.
I know there's more coming, so
We got an Incineroar EX. It's got the ability Adversity Act. Attacks used by this Pokemon cost 1 colorless energy less for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon.
oh
Okay.
my gosh, that's actually kinda crazy.
Yeah, it is a stage 2. It's a fire type, 320 HP, and its attack is Blazing Bomb for 1 fire and 4 colorless.
It's at
Your
least gonna be 3. That's actually
240
not
damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned. So 260 effectively.
yeah. That doesn't seem bad at all, to be honest. That's
Magma
like,
Basin's still in the format too.
what are you just not gonna bench Pokemon? I don't think so. Put a double turbo on there as well,
Yeah.
and then if they only have 2 bench Pokemon, we're still hitting for 240. That KO stuff like Iron Hands and like all the ancient and future, uh, big basic Pokemon. Yeah, that does not seem bad. That's for sure.
Does more damage than Charizard at the beginning of the game. One hit
Yep.
KOs all the basic Vs. One hit KOs Regigigas V.
Yeah, I don't dislike that. I don't dislike that at all. That could be pretty good actually. Wait and see. A lot of new cool new cards coming out. See, people are talking about Charizard getting the Mist Energy and I don't know,
This
Path of the
card does
Peak
seem pretty good.
no longer shutting down Gardevoir. We got some new cards to take a look at here. Who cares about that old stuff? Looking up the optimal Litten, of course, gotta
Yo!
see.
Wait, dude, but imagine if there's, like, some, like, memory, tool or something, is that thing still in the format? I don't think it is, right?
I don't think so,
I think
no.
that rotated last year.
We might get something eventually though that would work with it.
Memory
Um,
energy. Look at how scared he is.
yeah, that Litten is pretty scared. For anyone who's listening, we're looking at the Litten that has the Reprisal
Yeah.
attack that does 20 damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon for 2 fire energy. So if your Incineroar got hit but didn't get KO'd, it hit back pretty hard.
If you
With
could copy the attack of a
yeah.
previous evolution, which is a mechanic that has come through the game every once in a while.
Alright, Chip, I do have another leak. There's a couple trainer cards here that are on Beach. They haven't been translated yet though, but one of
All
them
right. We'll
looks
just
like
let's make an agreement. We're just gonna take a look at the pictures of the new cards, okay? Then we're gonna do our Portland recap. We're gonna close Twitter. We're gonna close Beach. We're not gonna refresh. We'll do our Portland recap, and then we'll come back at the end of the show and do these, okay?
maybe one refresh just to make sure there's nothing
There's a Farigiraf.
I don't know what that means.
It's Girafarig, but it's
Okay.
Farigiraf.
Good to know. But the
A
big ones are
Roaring
the
Moon.
the
Oh, dude,
trainer
is there a
cards.
Fluttermane? Is there a Fluttermane?
We already have seen a Fluttermane. Oh,
No,
I
but
see what you're
like,
saying. But that skateboard right
EX.
there.
Is it
Oh,
a skateboard?
I don't know. There's like a 30 HP thing on
No,
there. I
it's
don't know
not
what
a
that means.
skateboard. It's like boost board or something like that.
Yeah. There's
Bianca. It's a
there's a
different
razor
Bianca.
razor in there as well.
I don't remember what this person's name is. A bunch of item cards. There's a there's a pair of clippers
Yeah.
with the trading card game logo on it. Okay. There's a bunch of other ancient and future
Abilities.
Pokemon.
I always get
It's
excited when I see
pointless for us to
abilities.
be too excited about this because, like, anyone who's listening to this has probably already read what these cards do?
Yeah, so we should just wait and then
We should
react to
just wait
what they
and
actually
react to
do.
them whenever we get them. But let's refresh on Twan's Twitter one more time. Oh,
Oh,
Farigiraf, here it is.
okay.
Ability, Tail Armor. Prevent all damage done
Oh,
to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's basic Pokemon EX.
gonna need the frenzy gouging for this one. But you could play the Mist Energy because it's got 2 colors in its energy cost.
And its attack is Sneaky Beam, 160. This attack does 30 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon.
Also, 1 hit KO's Gardevoir EX as well. It is
It's
dark
a
type.
dark type, that's right. Yep. Is weak
Notable,
to
notable.
grass, which we know is irrelevant right now in the game. And then apparently Girafarig is not half bad either. Psychic colorless side damage. This attack does 10 more, it's 20 plus, and then 10 more damage for each damage counter already on your opponent's active Pokemon. Honestly, not that bad.
Yeah, but it's not that good either. It's like,
No, but it's not that bad.
yeah, I guess, yeah.
This is pretty good.
That's not bad. It's got Night Spear.
It does have Night Spear.
Got that Night Spear.
All right, one more refresh.
All right, one more time. Let's just refresh one more time.
Okay. I'm exiting out.
All right.
And let's move on to our Portland recap. Of course, the tournament that did just happen this past weekend. Azul with the top 8 finish once again. Congratulations. Also, heck of a run, by the way, man. What is it? 4 top 8s in a row, 4 tournaments in a row, 4 top 8s. That's pretty
Well,
nuts.
no, because the LAIC is in between
Oh,
them.
okay. Yeah. We
And
don't
then
have to talk about
if we want to do the thing where we just like talk about regionals, then yeah, it's 4 regionals in a row, I
4
guess.
regionals in a row.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan. I like calling major tournaments usually. And I like to like include them all together, but a lot of
But when it sounds better for you, you're like,
well,
yeah,
a
I'm
lot of
more into
stats a
it.
lot of stats in the Pokemon TCG world are broken down into regionals, so we could do this one as well. Why not?
And, yeah, it was with the Charizard once again.
Mhm.
I know you did a YouTube video talking about kind of the differences and stuff like that, but, I guess just real quick, I mean, if anyone wants to hear all the detailed thoughts, you can definitely go check out Azul's video on it. You got a switch in here, 6 fire energy, 2 super rod. and then the TM Devo. But yeah, I mean, just looking over it, I mean, maybe real quick, just tell us why you guys decided Charizard was the move again for this tournament.
I mean, we're pretty split on a couple of different decks. I think like Chien Pao was potentially a pretty good play for this tournament, the Max Caliber. I would have minded playing that. Charizard also was like fine, but I don't think like Charizard was anything special. Like the meta overall was pretty hostile towards Charizard. A lot of TM Devos, more Tina, more Guardy. So yeah, I think that playing more of the TM matchup, though, I think it's pretty close to 50-50 to be honest. Um, if they have the TM Devo, I guess maybe it's probably unfavorable. And Sam Huff had the TM Devo. Grant actually lost to Sam in one of the rounds when he was still in contention for the cut. But yeah, the meta overall was like reasonably hostile. Like all the Miraidons had Tapu Koko. Some of the Miraidons went back to the Path build as well. So overall, it's pretty hostile towards Charizard. I guess overall, not like not to the point where it was like a terrible play to play Charizard. Like Charizard's such a good deck, doesn't really matter that much. It could definitely go further to the point where you wouldn't want to play Charizard. But I don't think it got that way at Portland. And then with like not the lack of success for Charizard, because obviously I made top 8, but like not overwhelming success. I don't think anyone's gonna like tech too much further.
Yeah.
So like Charizard's still probably pretty good moving forward as well. But yeah, I've had the TM Devo in here for the mirror match over the Justified. And what were the other changes from the list? I went down to 6 Fire, 2 Super Rod, which is really good against Tina, specifically really, really good in the mirror match. Like TM Devo plus double Super Rod, like it felt impossible to lose the mirror match, to be honest. So 6 Fire
Just
is a
because of
little
the like
sketchy overall,
mobility that
but
you get from 6-5 from the
well,
double
the
super rod.
recovery, like they TM Devo you, but they only get like 2 prize cards, but now you can actually have enough Charizards to like to be able to last the rest of the game, stuff like that. Um, and like getting the extra fire engine back. And then we did play the switch in the deck as well for the paralysis from Coco. And I think there were some Palkia players playing like Articuno as well. So it was a pretty good call to play the switch, I think. Um,
Do you have any
sure.
situations come up where you needed it?
I use it a lot. I use it a decent amount, but never against a Coco. I did play against a Marauder with Coco, but it never came up to pair it into the Coco, actually. I don't think, if I remember correctly. So I did use the switch a decent amount because it's also just a switch. Like
Yeah,
sometimes you just
just
want
a
to move your
good
active.
card.
Like also like especially like compared to the San Antonio list, we still had 7 outs turn 1 to get into Mew, the switch, and 6 fire energy. Whereas San Antonio we had 7 fire, no switch. So and we went with the switch over the turtle or the escape rope because you usually want to KO whatever paralyzed you. So escape rope means you'd need a boss or a counter catcher to go with it. Whereas just
And
the
you wanna be able to Arven
switch
for it.
yeah, exactly. And then that is the reason that Turo's just awkward because you Turo and then you need Charmeleon on your bench or you need a rare candy. Um, and you can't Arven for Turo and then play Turo, but you can Arven for Switch. And if people are going back to the Path build, which is what we kind of thought some would, so if they like Path, Iono, Coco you, if you don't have access to your abilities, but you have an Arven, you know, the abilities find you at the Turo, but if you don't have access to your abilities, then being able to go Arven for Switch just makes more sense. So I think if you really want to go over the edge in the mirror match, playing the Turo would just like put you way over the edge for the mirror match. But like I said, also burns a rare candy, so if everyone has Team Devo, maybe it's not even that good to be honest.
Yeah, so Charizard's cool and all, but obviously not strong enough to win
Yeah.
back-to-back regional
Not quite.
championships. Yeah, tell us what happened in your top 8 match. You did lose in top 8 to the eventual winner of the tournament, John Ang, with his lost Tina. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, in the top, I mean, it's close games. Game 2, he got like a turn 2 boss KO on my Pidgey, and I never got Pidgeot set up. And then game 1, I went like lone Charmander, and still got both games pretty close. Game 1, I was never really had too good of a shot.
Yeah, it was
I think
like
like pretty
possible but low
yeah,
odds.
like pretty low odds, but yeah, possible. And then game 2, I had pretty good shot at winning that one. I got the early KO on my Pidgey, and I couldn't reestablish it on the Pidgey ever to get into a Pidgeot. So it came down to like a late game research to move my Luminion. I whiffed, and then he just KO'd, went boss KO Cram for the last prize card on one of my bench Pokemon. So both games were pretty close. I had like my draws were a little bit rough, like really rough in game 1, and then yeah, not great in game 2 either. But they were close games. You know, John played well, so I'm not gonna beat. You're not gonna win them all. It's a close matchup, I think overall, especially with the if they don't have the TM Devo, which John didn't play the TM Devo, but if they have the and also I guess like the 3 path was nice as well. Not getting spammed, path spammed is nice, and it kind of like John had to be a little bit more conservative with them and like kind of save them for like the Roxanne turns. So allowed me to like set up. I guess it didn't really matter too much because I didn't have Pidgeot in play, so my quick searches were not happening anyway. So I guess that's like kind of like the one thing I wasn't able to take advantage of.
And yeah, like we said, John was the eventual winner of the tournament. Nothing too crazy, I feel like, in his list, just feels like a good solid list. He did have 2 boss, a lot of people are playing 1 boss, 2 counter catcher. He had 2 boss, 1 counter catcher. There's no Iono in this list, just the double Roxanne.
The
2
Poke
copies of
Gears.
Pokegear, you usually see just 1 or none. Those are
Mhm.
kind of the standouts to me, and then, yeah, like you mentioned as well, just the 3 path.
Yeah, the Poke Gear a lot better when you're committed to the 2 boss, and, like,
Yeah.
you don't like, Iono's interesting. I don't dislike the Iono. It has been, like, the way I've been playing Tina because, like, I don't feel like you need if you're gonna Abyss Seeking for the turn, you don't need to Colress, and there's always the chance that the Pokégear just doesn't find a Colress early game. But if it's an Iono instead of a Pokégear, like, if you look at Alberto's list, Alberto plays, like, the 2 Iono, and I think up to this point, Alberto has been, like, the most successful Tina player overall. Alberto plays, like, the 2 Iono, 4 Colress, 2 Roxanne, and whereas you draw a Pokégear and you hope it hits a Colress, if it's just an Iono and you Abyss Seeking, you're kind of still on course for your loss zone count, and you definitely got to, like, pull that off because you at least Ionoed for turn and instead of, like, maybe whiffing Colress off a Pokegear. But into the mid late game, when you want the Roxannes and you want the bosses, the Pokegear do help you extend for those, whereas the Iono is just an Iono. So it's kind of like the trade-off. I don't really know personally which one is better, but I've definitely liked the double Iono in the past whenever I played with Alberto's list. But it's pretty close. And also Sam also did go the Pokegear route as well, which is worth mentioning because it was a Lost Tina finals, John versus Sam. Lists were a little bit different. Still Pokegear lists. John had the 3 water. Sam had 4 path and the TM de-evolution. No Manaphy, I guess, is also something to reference there, which I think gives like a slight edge to John overall because the Manaphy is like decent in mirror.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a fan of the no Manaphy, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, that was something that, like, the casters actually even brought up is like, yeah, there's no Manaphy in Sam's list, so John's gotta be slightly favored, and then, like, Greninja just never happened for John
Yeah,
anyway.
it just like doesn't
Honestly,
happen. Like,
it was, like, kind of a little bit of a spaghetti fest finals, but it was honestly a great finals. Did you watch it, or, have
no.
you watched it yet?
Mm-mm.
Dude, it was, I mean, are you gonna VOD review it or anything like that?
I don't think so. I usually have to if it goes a decent amount after the tournaments, I don't like VOD reviewing them too far after. If it's not too fresh, then I'm kind of like,
This one
yeah,
might just be worth doing anyway because it really was genuinely, like, great games.
the finals or just the overall
The
tournament.
finals, the
Okay,
finals.
okay. Yeah, maybe I'll just VOD review the finals then. That'd be something worth
Yeah.
doing.
So I won't spoil what happened, but, yeah, super exciting and back and forth and, you know, like, playing to your outs type games, where it's like, it feels like there's low odds to win, but play to your outs, and then sometimes it comes through. It was just really, really cool to watch play out. But yeah, congrats to both Sam and John. Super sick finishes. Sam only plays in like a couple tournaments a
Yeah.
year usually. So, and it was like, I think Vancouver last year, he got top 32, like top 16 with like the wacky Reggie Gigas deck that had Drapion in it and Thornton and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So he always does pretty well at the 1 or 2 tournaments he shows up to. And then John, is someone who has been in top eights of tournaments a lot but has never gotten the win. And he like alongside, there's a few other American players that we have always talked about, like on the broadcasts and stuff, like Rahul and Grant Manley. These players that you're used to seeing in top eight. They just haven't gotten that big breakthrough win yet. And John was finally able to make it happen. So congratulations to him. I'm sure it means a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely a big dub for John for sure. Yeah, there's a couple players still out there. I think those are like the top 2, I guess, besides John who haven't gotten the dub yet is Radner and Manley, who have like, had a, a ton
They
of
have a
top 8s
high
in this.
number of top
Yeah.
eight finishes. That's the big thing, is like they've been in top eight a lot. Grant's number is kind of ridiculous, to be honest, compared to
Szymanski was also up there for a little
he
while, but
was
got the dub last season,
at
so
UIC. Yeah.
yeah.
Then we did have a Mew in top four, Maddox Kokoran, who also runs a podcast. So shout outs to Maddox. I believe it's the Beach Court podcast. And yeah, played just a good old
Little
classic
fusion.
Mew VMAX. Yeah, Fusion Mew had the Professor Turo in here. So a little bit of a tech for probably the Snorlaxes and stuff like that. Turo plus
Swarm the
Palpad.
control. Just
Yeah.
they can't beat that. 3 switch cards, 4 fusion energy,
Yeah.
throw Palpad, like yeah, went the
Can't
ice
ever
cube
beat.
route as well. Um, yeah, nothing too crazy here though. Classic fusion.
And then in the other top 4 was Bodie Robinson, another player who making a big deep run for the first time. He's a first-year master. Bodie
Yep.
actually won NAIC in seniors, and he's another person who it's like everyone knows that Bodie is good. He had, I think, a top 32 finish at Pittsburgh to start the year, and has been in day 2 several times, but it was kinda just a matter of time before he had his first big top 8 break, and it was with Gardevoir, which is what I think he's been playing a lot this format so far. So congrats to Bodie as well. Pretty standard list here as well. Nothing super crazy to point out, I don't think.
Yeah, nothing crazy. Yeah, Bodie's been, like, grinding, like, online tournaments and stuff as well, which is, like, if that would be, like if anyone wants to, like, pick up something like Guardy, you really gotta put the time in, and Bodie, like, I've been seeing Bodie, like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's been playing Guardy for a while, plays in online tournaments, just plays a lot of Pokemon, so it's really cool to see, someone like Bodie who seems to be as passionate about the game and just kinda loves the game as much as him do well with it. That's what you wanna see.
Yeah. Was a top 32 in San Antonio, so more recent than I
Yeah.
remembered as well.
Mhm.
And then yeah, the rest of the top 8 here, 4 different decks. We've of course already talked about your Charizard deck. We've got Nick Moffat with the Miraidon. Definitely a little more interesting of a build. Nick is someone who pretty consistently like will play whatever one of the top couple like top 2 or 3 decks in the format, but he
Yeah.
always plays like 5 or 6 cards off like whatever the standardized list is, you know?
Yeah, he tries to find that, and I think, I mean, it's most so like Nick's a really good player, so he's like the one who's like innovating on which what you want to be. You want to be the innovator
For
if you
sure.
can, right? And actually, I like Nick's list a lot because a lot of the ideas in it are like things that I was thinking was just correct from Rhydon to go to. The one Raikou, the two Miraidon, no Bravery Charm, EXP shares. I experimented with like a little bit more of a turbo build, and they
Yeah,
felt
this is a
good, but
research Iono
yeah,
double Flaffy build, so a little different from the Peony build that had become more popular
yeah,
recently.
kind of back to basics, I guess, with it, right? But has the path in there as well. So yeah, I just think it's a really good list from Nick. Like it has all the like I'm like overall under tested with Miraida, but all these things that like Nick has in here and doesn't have in here are all things where I was like personally where I was like when I was thinking about Miraida, I was like I feel like Miraida should go this way. So if you're looking to pick up Miraida, I would just like literally pick up Moffat's list. Like if you're interested in going with Miraidon or picking up it in general, just kind of playing a different or where wondering where you should go with your Miraidon list. I would just copy Moffat's and go from there.
Yeah, and did have the Tapu Koko EX in here, the tech
Yep.
for the Charizard matchup, had the Spiritomb in here, the tech for the Mew matchup, also with
In
the double path,
control.
like you said.
Yep.
Yeah, Spiritomb good against control as well for sure. So yeah, I had a pretty solid list for the weekend, and um he was like was he first seed? He was first seed going into cut, wasn't he? He was like pretty high
Yeah,
up
and then
there.
did hit I think Bodie in top 8, which is a good matchup for the Miraidon, but wasn't able to pull it out.
Yeah, he tweeted
I
a
saw
picture
yeah,
of his hand, I think.
yeah.
uh
It was like 3 boss, 2 switch cards, opened Mew, and yeah, the whole hand was just dead. I don't know if that was like
yeah.
game 3 or maybe just drew really bad, like had a close game 1 and then just drew like literal brick in game 2. But yeah, definitely bricked one of the games. Which Miraidon's like usually pretty good at like playing the game. You might not play it as much as you'd like to, maybe some generator whiffs, whatever it might be. But Ryan's usually pretty good at like, I'm at least attacking, right? Like at the very
All
least, the,
right.
the deck is attacking with the Raikou.
I shouldn't have opened Twitter, but
Oh my, are we gonna do a?
no, 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 we're gonna keep going.
All
But
right, finish. Yeah, close Twitter.
what if something that we talked about with a potential Incineroar and Litten existed?
Let's finish this.
Oh, snap, bro. That's crazy. Anyway, okay.
Connie with the Arceus deck. The Arceus deck appearing finally once again.
Yep.
Um, I
Makani's
think
been
yeah,
grinding Arceus as well. You talk about Bodhi grinding Gardevoir for like this last format. Bodhi, yeah, Bodhi grinding the Gardevoir. Makani has been grinding Arceus for like a year, I feel like.
yeah, maybe even more. And like this is the Arceus Gigas deck that the Stratford brothers, I think both got day 2 at San Antonio with, and it's like pretty close to the list that they played as well. I think Makani played it at San Antonio as well. Didn't make day 2 though, unless Makani didn't go to San Antonio. That's also possible. Um, I thought I saw him there. But yeah, it's I mean it's Arceus path. Can't go wrong with that. And then there is the Regigigas in there as well, the 1/1 Regigigas, which is just a high HP, heavy hitting Pokemon. I actually played against Makani in round I don't even remember, 13? We tied, overall. Game 3 did not conclude, and the Regigigas early HP is kind of annoying for Charizard, to be honest. The
Yeah,
240 is kind of annoying. It's like,
that's,
alright.
like, the big plus of this, right? Is, like,
Yeah. It
if
also
you're just
KOs.
playing an Arceus deck and you take a knockout and you bench an Arceus V and power up energies on it,
Yeah.
they just counter catch or KO it, but they can't do that to Regigigas V.
Yeah, and I also like the Regigigas V-Star KOs Miraidon and Roaring Moon. Um, and then you have like the Zacian V in there for like that early energy acceleration. If you whiff the energy attachment from hand, you can go like Nest Ball for Zacian. Jason finds a Psychic. Then Zacian KOs Urshifus. In the Rapid Strike matchup, you got the Mew EX in there, which is awkward to power up, but can be good against Lost Tina, especially with the Raihan. Yeah, the Mew EX is like awkward to set up. You also, if you can get the energy on it, you can like do plays against Greninja. Like you can bring up their Greninja against Lost Zone decks, and you can use that because there's the counter catcher in there as well, so you can make some
Dude, you're
interesting
playing,
comeback
like,
plays.
everything in
But
this deck, you might as well put the Poppy in here, that's what I gotta say.
I mean, maybe to be, I bet they tried it. I would bet that they tried the, I would bet they tried Poppy for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, well, I guess like as far as like I said, like if you're gonna be doing ride on, pick up Moffat's list. I mean, yeah, just let Makani and crew do the work for you, and if you wanna play Arceus, I would just, like, pick this up and go from there, to be honest. Just try
Yeah.
it out, see how it feels. Yeah, I don't know if I'm sold on Arceus as a deck overall. Makani's a good player, and the deck's definitely solid, but I don't know where Arceus overall still stands in the metagame, especially with Tina. The Tina matchup's gotta be tough.
And then we've got Ian Rob here with the top 8, closing it out with Mew VMAX. This one being the double turbo Mew, and it was the same list played also by Vance Kelly to get 12th and Travis Beckwith to get 65th place.
Oof, 65th. But yeah, it's DT Mew with the fusion package of not just one
Yeah,
fusion
yeah.
energy like we saw from Hedrick at San Antonio, but the Sparkle plus 2 fusion energy. So yeah, really trying to not lose the Spiritomb, which like this is more than enough to beat Rapid
Should
Strike.
you just
The
play
Spiritomb.
the Ice
Uh,
Cube and then, like, you can KO the Spiritomb?
I mean, well, it's like the same thing at that point
I
then, right?
guess
But then
that
but then
is
you give him a
true, it
1
is the
prize.
same thing, and then you're putting one of the fusion energies on the
Yeah.
Ice Cube instead of, like, on a Genesect, so
Yeah,
you can
and you can
draw.
also turn one Psychic Leap, even with just the one Sparkle too. If you
It's
you could
true,
turn
it's
one Psychic
true.
Leap to get some early cheese KOs on like a Pidgey or a Charmander or something. So yeah, this is just kind of DTE Mew built to combat Spiritomb basically. Like this should basically auto win Rapid Strike. If a Miraidon has like a Spiritomb, things definitely get quite a bit tougher, even if you have the fusions. But it makes pretty much Spiritomb matchups manageable. And probably does a lot for your control matchup as well, because like the Spiritomb and the control is pretty annoying to deal with if you don't have the fusion. So I think this is probably like to be honest, I like DTE Mew a lot. Fusion Mew, I'm a little bit more iffy on, especially with the Charizard matchup. I think this deck has a way better Charizard matchup than Fusion Mew. Um, so I think probably moving forward is probably the best way to play Mew.
Yeah.
The two fusions, but I mean Fusion Mew did do better overall, so I guess it's probably pretty close. Charizard's gonna be tough pretty much no matter what Mew you play, unless you're going full handlock. But handlock doesn't
There's
feel
a
quite
lot
the
of
same to other
decks in the
matchups.
format though, you know, like,
There
in
is,
at tournaments, man, anything can happen. You could play
yeah.
0 Charizards in 15 rounds, like,
Yeah,
that's
one
probably not
shout.
gonna happen, but it could happen.
Yeah. Oh, I saw this on Twitter. So one shout I want to give, if you go back to the standings real fast, was Xander Perot did a Fusion Mew class going into the tournament, and apparently Nicholas and the top Maddox, who got top 4, both attended the class and ended up both in top 16. So
That's pretty sick.
yeah, I think it was just like cool to shout out the you know the
That's a big
coaching.
plug for Xander for sure.
Yeah, yeah. This is Xander Perot. Check him out on Twitter.
Oh, no, I'm
Um,
opening up Twitter again. I shouldn't do this.
well, we're about to head over there anyways. But yeah, I thought I would shout that out because I saw that on Twitter that yeah, both of those players, I'm sure they played great. But maybe got a little bit of help from Xander's Fusion Mew class over on Medify. So I just wanted to give that a shout for sure because I think coaching definitely can be impactful for uh for a lot of players. And getting something like that can definitely be worth it if that's like the deck. Like if I think Xander has maybe one coming. If you're planning to play Fusion Mew, I think Xander might have a couple other classes leading up to the next couple majors. So
Yeah, he was just tweeting about when he should do the next one. Should it be before Knoxville or before Charlotte? So,
probably one before both, Xander. I don't know why that's a question. You should just do one for each.
well, I think he wants to make sure he can fill both, you know?
Hey man, I'm just trying to help
Um,
him with his marketing. The answer is both. If you if you weren't sure, Xander, the answer is both.
Also, we didn't look yet at the meta breakdown. Let's do that real quick. The day 1, day 2 meta
Yes,
breakdown.
I
So
like
day
looking at
1.
this day 1 meta breakdown because I predicted everything correctly.
Oh, yes, you're just
I
so good.
predicted
You're so
Charizard at
you know it
16%.
all,
I predicted Tina at 12. I
and then you just
predicted
still played
Miraidon.
Charizard.
I predicted Miraidon at 10 to 12. I predicted Guardy at 10 to 12.
All this
Pepper Strike
knowledge,
at
all this
7.
power to predict the meta correctly, and you just played the same deck again, bro.
Well, I mean, what does that have to do with anything? That's just like now I can apply this to future tournaments, be 100% correct on my meta predictions again, and then maybe it'll cause a deck switch. Just being consistent is the important part. Because I
Hmm.
also predicted my San Antonio predictions were also pretty spot on as well. Not quite as good as this one. I kind of impressed myself with this one, to be honest. But I was pretty close for San Antonio as well.
And then moving into day 2, talk about
You know,
conversion rate here. Lost Tina jumping up big time,
yeah.
21% of the day 2 meta.
Yeah. Charizard staying about the same, Guardy about the same. Mew did pop up. We had some really good players playing Mew as well. It's gonna also,
And Mew had a great tournament overall as
yeah,
well. Looking at the
overall,
top 16, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the top 16. Like, that's crazy.
it's disgusting. It's just gross. Yeah, Lost Box was still there, but not very. It did not have a good turn. I actually thought Lost Box was gonna have a little bit of a bounce back. But between thinking Lost Box was gonna have a bounce back and playing more with Lost Box, I just don't think Lost Box is that good of a deck. The Lost Pile stuff is just so fragile. Yeah, the Lost Pile decks are just super, super fragile. And then Roaring Moon actually made it onto the graphic. And way more people than I thought would actually. There's like a couple people picked up like the hands build that I was like yapping about on Twitter before the event, which was kind of cool. And then you had like really good players like Ross actually choosing to play the Roaring Moon. And Ross's build was pretty interesting actually. It was like there's Sada in there, but it's like more centered around research energy switch with the Moltres.
Yeah.
And there's a jelly in there.
Yeah, I don't know about the jelly, but
I hate
yeah,
the
the
jelly.
research idea is kind of interesting. Heavy energy
Yeah.
switch. Yeah, definitely pretty interesting.
This is very similar to this feels actually very similar to like Ross's Turbo Dark from NAIC. The stops, the researches, played the Ionos, which is something like that other Turbo Dark players weren't playing. Not many people are playing Iono and Roaring Moon either, but that has a
That's
Pal Patch
true, yeah.
Recover on.
Ross is like that old school player, of like I mean, how many games have you seen from Roaring Moon where it's like they just get behind and they're going to lose because they have no disruption? Like that happens
Yeah.
like a decent amount with that deck, right? So now he
I
at
think
least
the
has that
Ionos.
option, right?
Yeah, the most interesting part about this list is definitely lack of water energy for sure, and then research E-switch over just like more SADA. So just like see more cards, but what's the point of seeing more cards if they all the same cards? So then you have stuff like the jellies and the booster capsules and the Iono. So you're actually seeing different cards. 'Cause if you just research and you just see 4 SADAs, it's like, well, I could have just played a SADA. Um, so like playing the researches, it makes sense to have all these other kind of unique cards in there as well. Because otherwise, drawing all those cards doesn't really mean very much if they're all the same card.
Well, we did do a couple predictions before the tournament, so let's go over
True.
those real quick. Over under
Completely forgot.
1.5 Charizard in top 8. Azul took the under, I took the over, and Azul, not only was he correct, he
I
was
was the
also the only Charizard in top 8.
yeah. I was gonna make sure if I hit any other Charizards on a position to tie, I was gonna play it out against them. So that
No
way, I was
shot.
no, I wasn't. But there was no other Charizards there to actually oppose me, so it was fine.
Yeah. And then we've got second most popular deck on the meta breakdown. Azul predicted Lost Tina. I said Miraidon.
Pretty easy dub there. Not
All
gonna
right,
lie.
let's move on.
I'm pretty good at
And
predicting metas.
final, highest placing Golden Go. Azul said top 64. I said top 16. There were two Golden Go in day 2.
I played against one of them actually.
Yeah,
And
the
I
guy played
really like
against
their like
Grant round 10 and you round 12.
yeah. Go a little bit lower, Chip. They're right there.
Yeah,
There you
I'll
go.
find
There's
it.
3 in day 2 actually. And it was a top 64. That's 3 for 3. I didn't even know where Paul ended, but it was top 64. Paul was actually pretty cool too. Actually, I did beat 2 Golden Goes in the tournament overall, and I definitely got inspired. The 2-2 Paul care from Paul, I really liked, and then I played against one in day 1 that played Avery. And the Avery Palkia Greninja like pressure was really annoying. So now I want to take the 2-2 Palkia from Paul and the Averys from the player I played against in day 1, put them together, and that actually there might be something there. That's all I'm saying. There might be something
There's
there.
no melodic in this list, though.
Either no one played the melodic. I think that was like everyone like came together and was just like, nah.
No melodic.
Oh, I take it back. I all the ones I saw, the 2 I played against and the other ones I saw didn't have melodic.
This guy has the toad, bro.
What's that even for?
Tina, I guess. They just one shot you anyway.
They're
Or
the Averys, though. I don't know if this is maybe the player I played against in day 1, I actually don't know. I don't think they had the toad, though.
the
Maybe, though, I
toad
don't
scroll
remember.
is very interesting.
It is interesting. What else is it
Let's see.
stopping besides that?
Uh, I don't know. Let's see. You played against was it Gavin or
I don't remember.
William or
It was one of
Leonardo?
the first 2 rounds, yeah.
Okay, okay. So not someone in day 2.
Yeah. And then I took a L to the Mew in round 3. Those
L.
the judge paths, man, they hit. They hit pretty
You
hard.
beat 2 Chimpao though. Well done.
Yeah, I forget how the ooh, yeah, I got, the first one, Corey, I don't think drew very well. Against Jared, Jared didn't draw very well game 1, drew fine game 2, but unknowing of my TMD evolution, overextended the second back Excalibur. Ooh,
Ooh,
and then the TM Devo came in after Jared had only drawn 1 prize card, and it was kinda over from there. But
that's tough. That's
yeah.
rough, buddy.
I was like, I won game 1, I was like, If this ends up in a tie, bro, I guess I'm fine with that." But then, yeah, for him to, like, move his hand along with B-Barrel, he had to candy out the second back Excalibur, and then I TMD vote on the following turn. It was pretty much over from there.
Tough, tough. All right, well, that does it for our Portland recap. But before we close out the episode, we got to check
Ac
out more new cards. Come on, there's got to be something. I've been jonesing all day. Here it is. Yes, Relicanth. This is what I
Yes!
saw. Has the ability Deep
Oh,
in Memories. Each of your evolved Pokemon can use any attacks from its previous evolutions.
pretty good. That does combo with what we're
The
talking
Kitty
about?
Cat.
Incineroar. Yeah. Alright. Oh, supporter card.
Yeah.
How
We're
far
gonna scroll down to where we were. We're gonna scroll down to where we were. So we had the
Okay, okay.
Frigoraph. Now
New Moon.
let's look at the Roaring Moon. Vengeful Feathers for 2 dark, 70 plus, 10 more damage for each ancient card in your discard pile.
What the T-Tart is a future Pokemon, right? The one that discards your top 5 and
Yeah.
discards few okay, okay.
Then we've got a Koraidon, ancient Pokemon, a dragon type for a fighting colorless. It has Primeval Battering 30x. This attack does 30 damage for each of your ancient Pokemon in play. It's a single prize Pokemon for a fighting and a colorless. And
Oh,
then
wow, this might be
Shred.
better than the 'cause I was hyping up the other one prizer. Um,
Oh, like the
the
Sandy Shocks.
yeah, I was hyping
Yeah,
that
yeah,
thing
yeah.
up, but now reading this thing, it's like,
Yeah, this is definitely just better.
yeah. 'Cause you can do it for 2 energy as well, because you
Yeah.
can, like, Sada retreat, the other one need 3 energy in play.
We've got a Great Tusk. It's got 2 colorless for Crust Collapse. Discard the top card of your opponent's deck. If you played an ancient supporter card from your hand this turn, discard 3 more cards from the top of their deck.
Hey, Mill is back? Sada Mill 3?
That's
Wait, Sada Mill 4,
3
right?
more cards. Yeah, Sada Mill 4.
Durant's back, baby.
That's a
Hey!
lot. That's a lot of mill.
And
This
we
thing
got
has
Counter Catcher?
140 HP too.
This is literally just Durant. We have Counter Catcher, which was Catcher. Dude, 140 HP. Put a thing on there,
You have
200
to play
HP.
Sada every turn. Is there another future supporter right
We gotta
now?
play Sada anyways. We gotta accelerate the energy to these things.
There's double turbo energy in the format.
But yeah, is there another ancient supporter? Does another
There
ancient
is.
supporter
I think a new
exist?
one got revealed, right? Because the the Oracle card is a future supporter. I think there was
Yeah,
another
what
ancient
was it? I forget what
supporter.
it does. You are right, there is something, but it was
Yeah, this
bad.
guy.
Oh, it's
Look at the
terrible.
top 6
Move
cards of
on.
your deck, put 2 of those cards in your hand and discard the rest.
I guess it gets the double turbo, and then we just like attack with double turbo. I guess it could be okay. Sada seems better. Sada Greninja.
Well, you would probably play both, right? You need the game to go probably that
Yeah,
many turns about like
more
more than
Sada, a
4
couple
turns for
Hapu.
sure.
Just Palpat some Sadas back.
Yeah, that's true
Yeah,
too.
Hapu could like help us dig for the counter catchers and stuff.
And then let's scroll back up. We've got another Iron Valiant.
The other one kind
Uh
of sucked, but this one doesn't look as bad.
Yeah, psychic calculation. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck and put them back on top in any order. And then 2 psychic and a colorless. Majesty Sword, 100 plus. If you played a future supporter card from your hand this turn, this attack does 100 more damage. I think it's a little unreasonable to power this thing up, but
The one prize though. Well, with the new, I don't know, with the new
oh,
item card,
yo,
go ahead,
Synergy,
cook.
Oracle supporter. Zatu, get any 2 cards out of your deck,
Oh, and then
accelerate to this.
sure. Yep, you're kinda cooking. I could see it.
You were not gassing me up like I
I could
needed you
see it.
to
Yeah,
there, buddy.
Zatu thing. Yeah, you could play, one of the things that what does it increase your damage by 10 or 20? The basic is only 10 damage more, right? Or is it 20?
The Iron Crown, I think it is
Yeah.
30.
What? It's not alright, it's 20 for sure. There's no way it's 30.
I think it's Imma scroll down now. Sorry for anyone watching on YouTube, watching me just furiously scroll through Twan's Twitter page.
Shout out Tuan.
Yes.
There it is. It's not 30, it's 20.
It's
I thought it
20,
was
just like I
10.
said.
Yeah. So you can play one of those, get to 220, or you can play the tool card to get to 220. KO stuff like Maridon. Just like thinking about that.
Speaking of Miraidon, we've got another Dragon type basic here.
Here we
Future
go.
Pokemon Speed Peak for 1 colorless. It does 40 damage. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy and attach them to your future Pokemon
Okay.
in any way that you like.
We knew there had to be some form of future energy acceleration. We got the item card. Now we have this Maridon. It does
That
40, but you get a couple of those Iron Crowns involved, or even like the tool card. We're doing 60, 80. We're
Yep,
KOing Ralts turn 1.
it's literally Plasma. Plasma is
Yep.
back.
Yep.
And
Looking
then
good.
yeah, that's not
Prizing that
bad.
card would suck, to be honest. Probably like the one of future item card. If you prize that, that kind of sucks. But this guy actually like kind of evens things out for you a little bit. The Maridon.
Yeah, that card's definitely gotta be pretty decent. We got the Iron Treads here, another future Pokemon. It's got the ability Dual Core. While this Pokemon has Future Booster Energy Capsule attached, it is both fighting and metal type. And then its attack is metal colorless. Passing wheel, 60 damage. Move 1 energy from this Pokemon to one of your benched Pokemon.
Go next. Go next.
We've got Shiftry, stage 2 grass type, 150 HP to retreat, weak to fire. It's got the expelling tornado attack for 1 grass. Choose 3 of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Your opponent shuffles all of their other benched Pokemon and all cards attached to them back into their deck. Pretty powerful
That's
effect.
not bad.
And then Energy Loop, 2 colorless, 140, put an energy from this Pokemon back into your hand.
So it's too easy to play around, but it could be a cool if you like
Cool
you make
effect,
a
but I don't think it'll ever see play.
yeah. Yeah, it's just too it's a cool effect, but it's too hard to make work.
We read the Relicanth. I also the reason that I saw the Relicanth exist was because I saw a Jake Gearhart tweet,
Oh
imagine.
boy. Already cooking. He's already in the lab. He's always actually, to be honest, he might
He
just always be
literally
in the
is
lab.
always in the lab,
Yeah, always
yes.
in the lab.
330 HP Junk Hunt. There's a
Oh
Magneton
boy.
with Junk Magnet. 2 item cards from discard into your hand.
Oh my, that's okay. That's actually kind of scary. Oh no, that's kind of That's kind of gross. That's kind of gross. Oh
Boss KO
boy.
Relicanth. Boss Lost City KO Relicanth.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they might have a second one, but
Yeah. Then we've got Eerie from SV5. Your opponent reveals their hand. Discard up to 2 item cards you find there.
yo, gets this, but better.
Yeah, definitely better.
That's actually that card is good.
Yeah, this card's definitely good.
If we keep Luminion,
Luminion is in format, yes.
dude, you go second and you turn one Eerie them. That's kind of gross.
Yeah, but they just played their item cards, buddy.
Figure it out. Late game Eerie. Wait, that's
We've
the
got
counter to Magnezone. They can't.
it's a counter to Magnezone, ignoring the fact that Magnezone is probably using it. All right. We've got Emergency Board from Scarlet Violet 5. Pokemon Tool card. The retreat cost of the Pokemon this card is attached to is 1 less. If that Pokemon has 30 HP or less remaining, it has no retreat cost.
I mean, they just gave us a pivot tool card,
Yeah,
but it is
we
only
haven't had
one.
this in a while.
It's not as good as a skateboard because the skateboard also removed like
You
a
could retreat
sleeping
if you were
paralysis.
paralyzed or asleep.
Yeah. What have we had similar to this? Nothing, right? This is we're back.
Kind of like Air Balloon because it reduced by 2. This reduces it
Yeah,
by 1.
but I think it's good. I think Air Balloon was like too good. I do like the reduced by one better. I think Air Balloon was too good still. It almost felt like it was just
Even
Floatstone.
compared to Floatstone.
Well, Floatstone was obviously better, but like
Yeah.
Floatstone was
Well,
one of those
I
cards
know,
where it's
but it's
like
like Floatstone is obviously better. Air Balloon was good, but not Floatstone. Like,
yeah.
you don't think Air Balloon was enough of a step down, is what I'm saying.
No, yeah, I think this is yeah, because it's like kind of like being like like something like Field Blower. It was just like that's just why did this card exist? You know, like when you think back to Field Blower, like it just did everything.
Yeah.
Should not have existed. Like Flowstone does did. Yeah, there's no limitations. Cards need limitations. I
We've
think
got
this is
Hand
okay.
Trimmer, an item card from Scarlet Violet 5. Both players discard cards from their hand until they have 5 cards in hand. Your opponent discards cards first. It's literally Hugh. Well,
Yeah,
not
an
literally Hugh,
item.
because Hugh could draw you cards.
Yeah. Sander
But
probably simultaneously likes this card and hopes no one else plays this card,
yeah.
against. Because like, actually, if you're in, like, a stall situation, you can, like, deck them out so much faster, right? Oh, new card just popped up. It's like,
We've
yeah,
got
they have a huge hand, and then you just, like they go down to 5, and then you eye honor them, and they lose, or something like that.
Order Box. Item. After you use this card, your turn ends. Search your deck for up to 2 item cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Imagine using this card and then your turn ending, and then your opponent goes, "Eerie, discard the 2 items you just searched for."
What if it's a bait, though, and you just, like, get 2 dead cards, and that's it?
Yeah, but they choose the other items in your hand, as
If
Azul.
you only had bad items. It was
Oh,
just 2
okay.
other of the other cards. What are they called? You just searched out 2 2 what is the card called? The treasure chest or whatever it's called?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The order box.
Yeah, you just search out 2 order box with your order box, and you get Eeried, and they get to discard 2 order box. Insane, next level play. This
Mm,
card doesn't seem very good,
no.
but
This type
maybe
of card has not
maybe
ever
though,
been
like,
good.
if you play it in an Arven deck, you could Arven for it turn 1, and then use it to just get, like, your Candy Guardy or Candy Charizard or something. Might not be terrible as a one-of in, like, Candy decks that play Arven, which I think more
We've
decks will play Arven moving forward.
we've got a Bianca's Devotion, heal all damage from one of your Pokemon that has 30 HP or less
Ooh.
remaining. A little too
Seems
exact, I
situational.
feel like.
But
Yeah,
that sometimes just lines up in certain matchups, right? Where they hit for
that
you
is true.
having, like, 10 HP left, and they plan to do something about that next turn, but then you have the Yanka's Devotion, so
But, like,
giving us, like
most decks have something that can play around this, right? Like, they've
yeah,
got
yeah.
some other attack that can just, like, do 30 damage first, right?
That's true. But, like, yeah, this is, like, would be one of those very situational matchup tech cards.
What's
It's like
interesting to me here is this Bianca specifically calls out a Pokemon with 30 HP or less, which feels kinda weird. But then this emergency board also specifically calls out Pokemon with 30 HP or less.
I think there's, like, something coming out that
Like,
has more
something
to
that
do with
self damage. Oh,
the
you know what friggin' self damages itself to 30 HP remaining?
uh,
Roaring Moon.
true. It's
But then
just
it's
Roaring
just gonna
Moon
get
card. Yeah, it's
KO'd,
gonna get
so
KO'd. Yeah, I don't think it's surviving. Maybe it's for the,
Uh,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, nothing yet. Maybe there'll be more that comes with it,
some
or maybe they're
ability of something that puts itself down to 30 HP or something like
they also
that.
just maybe decided that that's, like, the HP they wanna work with to have the more powerful effects take effect. Could also be it.
Mm.
There's like, "Alright, this is it."
How
Or maybe
much
they'll
more
come out
was
with
on
s
Poke Beach that we haven't seen yet?
I think that was it, actually. I think we've caught up. Or maybe they'll come out with something like a Flash Bite where you can damage yourself as well. Like, you do 2 on their side, 2 on your side or something, who knows? Oh, there's a Magneton with an ability that we haven't
Oh,
seen
yep,
yet.
and Poke Beach has some translations.
Alright.
Here we go. We've got a Matang Metal Maker. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 4 cards of your deck, choose any number of basic metal energy you find there, and attach them to your Pokemon in any way that you like.
Whoa, that's pretty good. Right? Am I trolling? Am I tripping?
Yeah, it's once per turn on a stage 1. Yeah,
Are you
that's pretty good, and you've got the
okay, yeah.
new supporter to stack the energies as well, if you wanted
Is the
to.
Metagross any good?
Comet Punch, 60 damage during this next turn. It does 60 more, and
Nope.
then Luster Blast, 200, discard 2. No.
I mean, you could play it for, like, the Lesser Blast, I guess, like a one of. But, yeah, that seems I don't know. You just set up 3 of those Metang, and you're just like, "Celebrate energy." Does Dialga stick around?
Dialga does stick around.
Hey, look out.
The
Look out.
Ghastly and the Haunter aren't anything special, by the way.
Unlucky.
We've got a Feraligatr here, a Hollow Rare ability, Torrent Heart. Once during your turn, you may put 5 damage counters on this Pokemon. If you do, this Pokemon's attacks do 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon during this turn.
Hmm. And then for 2 water, so we're looking at 280 for 2 water.
Yeah.
Can't use Giant Wave during your next turn?
Yep.
Does not seem great.
It is a stage 2. No
Yeah.
great way to get the energies on it quickly.
The Whimsicott, you pass a Whimsicott with an ability.
Oh, my bad. Whimsicott here. Ability Lifting Heal. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may use this ability, heal all damage from your active grass Pokemon. If you do, discard all energy from that Pokemon.
The discarding the energy is tough.
Yep. And other than that, I think we've seen all of this. Yeah, I think that is it. We got some alternate art cards revealed for those who care about that. I know Azul does not. Look at the giraffe,
That
bro.
one's pretty cool though.
Yeah,
Some
Azul,
of
you
them I
can
do
like
like.
appreciate them, but
Yeah.
you're not gonna buy them.
Well, I'm gonna get the Cleffa still. I need to get the Cleffa. I also want to get the.
Yeah, dude, you need to get the Cleffa. It's only been out for like 6 months.
I'm working on it. And then I like the super evil Superman, Aquaman, whatever one that was.
Palafin.
Yeah, it's also pretty sick artwork. Yeah. So new cards, new cool cards, dude. It sucks that we're 2.5 months away from this, or 2 months in a week
Yeah.
away from these cards. We're so far away. If only we're a little bit more in line with Japan's release. Still a little bit off, a little bit too off in this first set of the new year every time,
Yeah.
or last year, now this year. So that kind of
It
sucks.
just feels so
But
bad to see these things this far in advance,
yeah, I
you
wish they just
know?
didn't show them to us. Why'd they have to do this?
Yeah.
Keep them hidden for a little bit longer. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool new cards. That's the Metang, all the ancient and future stuff, the Incineroar maybe. Like there's so much. The Relicanth, like
The Incineroar seems pretty dang good, man.
and this is like the main reason you don't need to we don't need to stress about with our current stuff. Who cares about the current stuff?
Yeah, dude. What kind of wrench do you think this throws in all the decks that Joe Bernard already like pre-made for for
Probably
the
quite
new
a few, to be
rotation?
honest. Probably quite a few. I think I saw Joe tweet last week or something. Should I start working on the new stuff right now, or should I wait for more reveals or something? I think. And I actually voted on the poll. I think I said now. I think I voted on the poll. I don't remember. Um, but yeah, got to go back to the lab, Joe. Back to the lab you go.
He's already made so many lists, dude.
Wonder how many of them are not good anymore,
Or just
or how
changed.
how much of them are that much better. All these new cards.
Yeah.
A couple Metang in there.
Oh, I thought this was funny too. It's like he was like gonna start working on his lists, and then like 3 days later, Buddy Poffin gets released.
Yeah.
So it's like a little risky if you work on it too quickly, you know.
Yeah. I guess that's is that all we're gonna get? That's a lot of new stuff. We're still missing an A spec, right? We're still one A spec
We
missing,
are still missing an A spec, yeah, but they got to save something for the
like Champions
um
League, or
Champions League. Yeah, I imagine that's when it'll get revealed. And maybe what if they're saving something better than Prime? What would it have to be
I
better
don't
than
even
Prime
know.
Catcher?
There's
Super Max
nothing.
Potion,
I don't know. Maybe.
heal
I mean,
from
a
everything.
Max Potion would, a reprint would be pretty crazy, just as itself, to be honest.
Yeah, but it
As a
might be
Max
too
Potion.
good, right?
I mean, if it's competing with Prime Catcher, I don't think it would be. Like, I think it'd be on par.
Maybe so.
Especially because like the ancient and future ones, at least the future one will definitely be playing. It's honestly the ancient one might still just play Prime Catcher, which is kind of sad. Like, yeah, ancient decks might not play the draw six
Yeah,
card, which probably isn't draw six. It's probably more like draw four, draw five, but
yeah,
it's pretty good for an item card. But Prime Catcher is also pretty good, so
yeah.
can't blame them.
All right. I think that's going to do it for us this week. Thanks so much to everyone for listening as always, and sticking with us as well. The unexpected reveal of a bunch of new cards in the middle of our episode. So
Yeah,
kind of good timing, honestly, because otherwise we would be waiting till this coming Tuesday to talk about them. So kind of works out.
worked out.
But yeah, thanks so much to everyone for listening. If you want to show your support, the best way to do that is to drop us a like, leave a comment, a review on the podcasting platforms. All those things help us out a bunch. Let us know you're enjoying what you're listening to, and it helps more people discover the podcast. And yeah, if you want to stay up to date with us and everything going on in our lives and with the podcast, you can follow us over on Twitter. It's the best place to do it. Follow me at Chip Ritchie. Azul is at Azul_GG. And then you can also follow the podcast at uncommon_energy.
Yep, appreciate the support as always. I won't be seeing y'all in just a couple days on Wednesday, where we'll be getting back to our regularly scheduled broadcasting. Is that the thing that people used to say at
Regularly scheduled programming.
programming? Yeah, Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Eastern. See ya.
Peace.